We're going to be with you for the next 4 hours from somewhere in America. All right. This is a unique show. Jim is out east, all right, where he's been on like vacay. I am out west, but not in San Diego. And we are covering the winter meetings. Now, here's one of the issues. And we've got you covered today. Annie Heilbrunn's going to join the show. Will Brinson. We'll talk a little bit about this weekend in the NFL. Of course, the latest with the Padres. There's so much news to react to. We're going to get into it here momentarily. But now, normally when we do a Jon and Jim, you hear from both Jon and Jim. But for whatever reason, this is the second time in as many weeks that where Jim is doing the show from, we can't hear Jim. So because Jim can't defend himself, I'm just going to blame Jim and say this is his fault, because who else could I blame other than Jim? So we're going to be with you for the next 4 hours. When we hear from Jim, we're going to hear from Jim. You can see him right now, by the way, if you are watching on YouTube. There's a couple of really interesting reports out of the winter meetings, which are now underway in Florida, that Jay Cronenworth, who the Padres are, quote-unquote, actively looking to trade. And then we learned today from Dennis Lin in The Athletic, and this came out very early today, that the Padres are, in fact, listening on Nick Pivetta, which I think comes as a surprise. But then the more you think about it, you're like, is it really that surprising that they're listening on Nick Pivetta? You know, the truth is, Pavetta's a free agent at the end of the 2026 season. And you go back a couple of off seasons and you're like, well, Juan Soto was going to be a free agent 1 year later. And the Padres were able to spin Soto, of course, for a return, a sizable return, that included Michael King. Now, here's the difference. I don't think the return for a Nick Pivetta is anything like the return for a Juan Soto. And here's the other difference. Isn't your biggest area of weakness your rotation? And how could you potentially move Nick Pivetta, who is at the literal front of your rotation? He is your ace in your rotation. And you're going to move him in an effort to then add to your rotation. I always find that interesting when the area of weakness is the area that you're pulling from in an effort to improve. Like, it's counterintuitive, isn't it? If you do something like this. Now, that's not to say they're moving Nick Pivetta. They may move Nick Pivetta. They certainly could use the payroll flexibility, because Pivetta in 2026 is making a lot more than he was making in 20. There's Jim. So a couple of things. I think if you're going to move Nick Pivetta, you better get the right return. And then secondly, if you're going to move Nick Pivetta, you better address also your rotation as well, significantly. So it's another offseason. It's like 3 straight off seasons where it's the same conversation. It's like, how do you balance the books, but also put your team in a position where you can win 90-plus games?
Can you hear me, Jon?
There you are.
Technology.
There you are. There you are. What happened for the 100th consecutive show?
I don't know, but it's fixed now, so we're all good. We're getting better at this. Last time,
let me lay this out then before we get into everything.
Yeah,
I'm going to take everyone behind the curtains, even though there's curtains behind me if you're watching it.
There is curtains, yes.
I am in Park City, Utah.
Correct.
Why? Because I'm in Park City, Utah with my wife and son. Jim is in the Philadelphia suburbs. Why? That's for another day. You'll learn soon enough. The winter meetings are occurring in Orlando, Florida. All right. And Annie Heilbrunn is going to join us from San Diego coming up at 3:30. Kevin Acee, by the way, is on the show tomorrow. Our Padres insider will join us tomorrow here on Jon and Jim. So, Jim, we're reacting to a couple of things. Cronenworth, they're listening on, maybe actively trying to move. Nick Pivetta, they're listening on. They've made a couple of minor moves here to address their bullpen. But the big story here is they're listening on Nick Pivetta. I mean, that's relatively surprising. Nobody expected that. But that's the story that Dennis Lin reported on earlier today.
But AJ listens on everybody.
True.
So there's really the only surprise here is that his name is in the headline. I mean, if they honestly, Jon, traded Nick Pivetta this year, goodbye season. There's no point. The season is over. I'm sorry. If they traded Nick Pivetta, I mean, have fun winning maybe 80 games next year, right? Good luck. You cannot trade away your number one to relieve $20 million off the books because you have an owner who's cheap. Can't do it. Like, if you expect to compete and if you expect to contend and you honestly are looking at having to trade Nick Pivetta, and we talked about this, when you look at all the major contracts the Padres have signed these players to, right? Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, Fernando Tatis Jr., Joe Musgrove, Nick Pivetta, Jackson Merrill, Jake Cronenworth. You show me the players that are tradable, that are making sizable amounts of money to help your move the money issue. You have one, and the other, when you look at it, is probably Nick Pivetta because he's got 1 year left on his deal at $20 million, and then he can opt out to be a free agent. Jake's the other one because he's got $60 million left on his deal. You're not trading away Tatis this year. You're not trading away Merrill. You're not trading away Bogaerts because you can't. You're not trading away Manny because you can't, and you're not gonna. You're not trading away Joe. He's got multiple years left on his deal. He's coming off of Tommy John. I mean, these are the only options you have because they've literally put themselves in this position to have to, be forced to maybe do these types of moves. But I honestly think this whole Nick Pivetta on the trading block is just a bunch of fake smoke. Like, it's not real to me.
It's interesting you say that, and I tend to agree with you, but I remember the initial part of the offseason involving Juan Soto, I was like, no way. At the start of the offseason, I was like, it doesn't make any sense. You're talking about a guy that, is one of the better hitters in the sport. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Even if you get the right return, it didn't make any sense to me. And then the more we got into the offseason, it was like almost an inevitability. Now, I'm with you. This isn't that. This doesn't scream inevitability. And I also, don't you agree with this, that like, if your biggest area of need is rotation, why would you take away from your rotation, even if you're adding payroll flexibility? Wouldn't you argue that the best usage of $20 million is Pavetta? Are you really going to do better than that? You're going to take your $20 million and do better than Pavetta in free agency, or the return you're going to get is going to secure you starting pitching that is more impactful than Nick Pavetta? That doesn't make any sense either to me. So like, it's either 40 chess from AJ Preller, or to your point, they listed on all players, including like non-tradable players, and it's just smoke. It's not fire, and it just speaks to the larger issue, which is they don't have any money, and they're going to need to get creative this offseason.
We said it last week. The winter meetings are basically a rumor starts in the coffee shop, and it makes its way all the way to the dining room down the hallway, and by the afternoon, there's articles written about so-and-so on the trading block, right? These Nick Pivetta, to me, it just doesn't make any sense. The Jake one makes a ton of sense, and it's being reported by Dennis Lin that they're actively shopping Jake Cronenworth. That makes sense. For them to put Nick Pivetta on the trading block and potentially look at deals for Nick Pivetta makes no sense to me if they're trying to compete in 2026. And I just look. There hasn't been one positive piece of news this offseason for the Padres. If you have one, tell me. I'll wait because I got nothing for you.
What about Dason Acosta?
Is that how you say his name? Dason Acosta?
According to MLB or baseball-reference.com pronunciation, Dason Acosta.
I just look at all these moves that they're making and everything that's transpired with all the way from losing in game 3 in Chicago to Mike Schilt quitting to no extension for Preller to Craig Stammen of all people to like the most random no-name coaching staff that you'll ever see be hired by the Padres to the John Seidler putting the team up for sale to Ty Adcock to Jake Cronenworth and Nick Pivetta potentially being on the move. Like, there isn't one single piece of positive news coming out of Petco Park for the Padres this offseason. It's December 8th. I hope that things turn around, but the way things are going, this is the pattern that the Padres are going down, and this is the path they're going down, where this offseason, at this moment in time, looks extremely bleak.
I agree with you. Like, I saw, our loyal viewer, James, in the chat, who's like doom and gloom Monday with Jim. I agree with Jim. I mean, I can't spin this. This is where you need to be objective, and this is why people come to our show and our station. Like, you have to take the step back here, and you got to look at this factually. From the exploring the sale to the way the season ended to their payroll problems to the rumors about Cronenworth and Pavetta, and I can live with them trading Jake Cronenworth, by the way. I can absolutely make that make sense. But honestly, the Craig Stammen hire, I mean, I need to see it, Jim. So they hired Craig Stammen. Terrific.
Who?
Like that doesn't scream home run. I'm not saying it's going to be a complete failure, but he's got a lot to prove. He's not some experienced manager that's won at a high level like Dave Roberts or Bruce Bochy. He's just not. So there's a lot here that is open-ended, and there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. Nobody is sitting here saying right now the Padres are only going to win 80 games. But if this offseason doesn't go well, and you don't get some of the things that have gone your way recently, like Nick Pivetta was a diamond in the rough. What if you don't land that type of player this offseason? What if Joe Musgrove doesn't give you 150 innings next year? What if Randy Vasquez isn't better than he was last year? So there's just a lot of questions around the Padres heading into 2026, and it's not like it's screaming they're going to address them all over the next week. So it's not to be doom and gloom. It's to be objective and unbiased and to look at this. And you almost have to look at it with like a little bit of a concerned look on your face. They won 90 games last year. Is this screaming another 90-win season with everything we know? I mean, I think it's going to take a lot of work and good managing and good work from A.J. Preller and his staff for this team to get to that threshold in 2026. I mean, I hope they're able to do it, but there's a lot of reasons to believe right now they're not going to be able to do that in 2026.
Oh, yeah. No, this is not doom and gloom. Doom and gloom is like this team's going to win 60 games next year and finish in last place in the NL West. And, everyone's going to get hurt. Like, no, we're being realistic. We're telling you. And again, for our listeners out there, I would love to hear from you. If you have a positive piece of news this offseason from the Padres standpoint, I'd love to hear it because I got nothing for you right now. And that doesn't mean that this team still can't compete next year. And this doesn't mean that this team still can't, make a postseason appearance and a postseason run because, I mean, I look at off seasons for like the Brewers last year. They had an awful off season, right? And guess what? They finished with the best record in baseball. Now, they got their, doors blown off by the Dodgers when they faced them in the NLCS, but still, their offseason didn't, transfer over to the regular season. And their regular season, they had a phenomenal season, making the postseason, making the NLCS. So you can have bad off seasons, and we've seen, Padres traded Juan Soto in an off season, and they went on to the division round that year, won 93 games. So we've seen that. So this is not a doom and gloom start to a Monday here when we're day 2 of the winter meetings or day 1 of the winter meetings, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
This is just being realistic. There hasn't been a single positive piece of news coming out of the Padres organization this offseason right now, and we're continuing to wait for that positive news.
All right, on the other side, we're actually going to hear from Craig Stammen. He weighs in on the Padres bullpen, and if any of these relievers, these high-leverage arms, will be converted to the rotation in 2026 or not. So we'll hear from Craig Stammen on the other side. Annie Heilbrunn will join us. We'll talk about the winter meetings underway, the Padres' needs at 3:30. Will Brinson on the NFL will join us coming up at 4:30. We'll hear from Sean Lewis today on the show. So a lot to get to here until 6 p.m. It's Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. We have pairs of tickets for Wednesday's San Diego State game at Viejas Arena against Lamar. We're giving away every hour, Jim. 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m. They've got to go. We have pairs of tickets for San Diego State Lamar Wednesday night, 7 p.m. We're going to give away a pair of tickets this hour. In fact, we're going to do it between now and the next 10 minutes. The first pair goes in the next 10 minutes. So do not go anywhere. We'll give away those San Diego State Lamar tickets coming up in the next 10 minutes. All right, so a lot of talk about Nick Pivetta. They're listing up Pavetta. A lot of talk about Jake Cronenworth. What's that?
I mean, are they though? Like, I
mean, did you read Dennis's article? It's a big headline.
Yeah, but when you read the article, it was
about hey. By the way, it's inevitable they're going to move Tatis at some point.
Did
you notice that?
I did notice that, and we'll talk about that as well. But
he's not talking about this offseason. He's talking about in the future.
Yeah, not right now. Yeah. It's in the future. Which again, whenever we talk about Fernando Tatis Jr., who knows what happens in 2, 3, 4 years? But in this moment, in this year, 2026, like Fernando Tatis Jr. will be on the San Diego Padres.
Yep.
But the Pavetta thing is like. They're listening. I bet you this is what happened. Because AJ is a psychopath and he listens on everybody. He has conversations about everybody. Maybe some lead farther down the road than obviously others. My guess is an agent or somebody heard wind of, hey, AJ was talking to somebody about Nick Pivetta. And then it got back to Dennis. And then it turned into this article of Nick Pivetta, the Padres are listening on Nick Pivetta, when in reality, it's just AJ just talking, right? Sure. he just talking about his baseball team, and Pavetta's name came up, but the likelihood of them actually getting to a point where they trade Nick Pivetta in the offseason. Now, trade deadline's a whole different story. If they suck at the trade deadline, I'm moving Pavetta. I'm getting rid of the guys that are, I'm moving Mora home. Right, I'm moving the guys that will be free agents.
Becoming like a free agent, yeah.
But at this moment in time, I can't buy it. I'm sorry, I just can't.
No, I completely agree with you. I'm not sitting here like waiting for the tweet that says Pavetta's been moved to the Blue Jays for a trio of prospects. Like I'm not sitting here waiting for that to happen in the next 12 minutes or 12 hours or 12 days. What I will say here is the most newsworthy item so far out of the meetings, in my opinion, involving the Padres is this. Okay, we've got the sound. This is Craig Stammen, Padres first-year manager, talking about whether the Padres would consider moving a relief pitcher to the rotation. Now, before we play the sound, we're talking about like David Morgan, Adrian Morejon, Mason Miller. This was Craig Stammen earlier today.
I didn't know if you were talking about me or talking about players on our team. I think it's still, I wish I could have done that. We got a lot of good pitchers in our bullpen that we can pitch in numerous innings and a lot of different parts of the game. As far as starting, I think we're still having those conversations, but leaning towards those guys staying in their current roles and just being valuable assets that we deploy throughout different parts of the game.
Mason and Adrian specifically, how well they've pitched tonight, how big of a factor is that in thoughts, like, what they can do?
To me, that's the biggest factor, because you take someone that's the best at what they do and you put them in a completely different role. You don't know if they're still going to be the best or they're going to be a shell of themselves or somewhere in between. And it's a risky proposition, one, health-wise and just performance-wise. So I think using those guys strategically in the bullpen is probably best for us. It's best for them also. I think that's what they want to do, and that's a big piece of this too, is what the player knows what he really wants to do and what he's going to be best at. I could tell you as a player, like, I wanted to start, but I knew I was going to struggle at it. I was much better suited for the bullpen. That was a good home for me. I'm not saying those two guys are comparable to me, but when you have that mindset, it's much easier to have success in a role that you feel very comfortable with. And we've tried Adrian in a starting role before. He's had different variedness of success. We put him in the bullpen and he's been dominant. And I think like keeping him in a dominant place is going to be important for the Padres.
What's your reaction there? He was pretty. He said it as if it's almost been determined that the relievers aren't going to be transitioned to the rotation, even with their rotation needs.
Yeah, good. I I hope they stick to that plan. I do think it's extremely risky to move Mason Miller and Adrian Morhone or even David Morgan, who could have been maybe the best option move as a starter, to be a starter. That just means they have more work, and by they I mean AJ, to go out and fill this rotation with like legit pieces instead of who was they signed today? Dyson Acosta,
Yeah.
and
Who's
Ty
27.
Adcock and Kyle Hart and JP Sears and like whoever else they have in this organization to fill those spots. Like the names I just gave you, good luck. It's just good luck, man.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, hey, maybe the reason you're bringing in these like slew of relievers is maybe you would consider moving one of your relievers to the rotation. And based on what Craig Stammen just said, it doesn't appear as if that is the reason why they're bringing these relievers. Maybe it's for competition. It's a long year. Maybe you'll rely more heavily on your bullpen if your rotation is more of a question mark. I mean, what are they going to do with their rotation? It's like a legitimate question on December 8th. They got plenty of time, and you could do it via trade. You could do it via free agency. You could do it internally. But, I mean, you're hoping for Pavetta to be Pavetta. You're hoping for Musgrove to look like a semblance of Joe Musgrove. You need Randy Vasquez to take a step forward, if not be at least the pitcher he was last year. And then what? I mean, it's a lot of question marks. You don't get to the postseason. To your earlier point on trading Pavetta, you have to have a good rotation. The Padres are always built to get to the postseason based on pitching, and that starts with your rotation. You're not going to tax your bullpen and ask them to throw 5 innings every night. You're going to need a good rotation. And right now, it's like, what is this rotation? Now, give them time, but it's at least concerning.
Unless they pull a rabbit out of their hat and they end up re-signing Michael King, right?
Yeah.
That's a possibility that's still out there. Kylie McDaniel, writing last week, he projected Michael King to get a 3-year, $57 million contract.
Correct.
If that's the contract he truly does sign, and the Padres don't do that, what's going on here? Like, that to me is a bargain for Michael King. Short years, not a boatload of money. Yeah, it's high AAV, but I mean, the guy's
not that high.
Not that high. We've seen this guy be elite. I mean, when he is on, Michael King is a front line starting pitcher. I don't care what anyone says. We've seen Michael King. He is a front line starting pitcher when he is on. So unless they pull that rabbit out of the hat and sign Michael King, I mean, where do they go? Where do they go for this rotation? Because you cannot, I mean, you can, but good luck. You go into a season and Randy Vasquez is your number 3 starter. That's going to be some uphill climbing for this team this year.
And by the way, Dennis, in his article today, and we'll touch more about what he said about Fernando Tatis Jr. on the other side, in his article today, referred to Michael King being re-signed as unlikely, which is obvious. We have said that. Yeah. But it does appear as if it is unlikely. All right, we did say we'd give away pairs of tickets to see the Aztecs every hour, and that includes this first hour of the show. So call right now if you want a pair of tickets to see the Aztecs take on Lamar Wednesday night at Viejas Arena. 2 free tickets, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Call right now. Caller 7, you've got 2 free tickets, 877-767-4760. Call right now if you want 2 free tickets to see the Aztecs take on Lamar at Viejas Arena Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Call right now. Caller 7 to 877-767-4760. What is Tatis's future in a Padres uniform? Plus, Annie Heilbrunn will join us coming up at 3:30. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update is brought to you by Taco Bell. We'll start with the winter meetings. They're underway in Orlando. The Padres have already made a big-time splash, signing right-handed pitcher Dyson Acosta to a one-year deal. Yay. San Diego State will be going to the New Mexico Bowl, where they will face number 25 North Texas on December 27th. And Albuquerque, also with the Aztecs, they'll be looking for a new defensive coordinator, as Rob Orich has left the school to be the new DC at Nebraska. Taco Bell's Lux Cravings box gives you decadent options. $5 gets you fan favorites, $7 gets you the fancy stuff, and $9 sends you on a journey of flavor exploration. Get yours at participating stores for a limited time. Prices and participation may vary. Drinks exclude freezes, taxes extra.
All right, Jon and Jim, we've got Aztec tickets to give away each hour during Jon and Jim today. We've got pairs of tickets. We'll give them away in the 3, 4, and 5 o'clock hours. Here until 6 p.m., Annie Heilbrunn will join us coming up in 1 hour. There's some news related to Tatis. And by the way, the Padres, I don't know if you've mentioned your update. I haven't been listening.
Well, I didn't do one update. I just did my first update of the day. So,
and I didn't listen to that. Did you mention that the Padres will be without a guy that had a negative WAR?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Hit 206 and stole a base last year. And had
the heart of the team.
A 59 OPS plus, which means he was 41% worse than the average major league hitter last year.
Is that good?
Tyler Wade is moving on. I don't even care who he moved on to. Was it the Texas Rangers on a minor league deal? Is that right?
Texas Rangers.
Okay, so Tyler Wade, who Mike Schutt would tell you is like the reason why the Padres won 90 games the last 2 years, has moved on after 2 years in San Diego. Can that be overcome?
That's a very good question. We probably should have led the show with that. The fact that this team now has to overcome the loss of Tyler Wade, Wadey, as some would call him.
Like Schutt.
Yeah, that's a massive loss for this organization, this fan base. It's going to take probably a little while for them to recover, honestly. But
like, how long? 10 minutes?
The good thing is they signed Dyson Acosta today. So look, if you were upset about Tyler Wade moving on and signing a minor league deal with the Texas Rangers, don't worry, because that will be quickly, turned from sadness to happiness once you realize that the Padres signed Dyson Acosta today.
Who's a better major league
as well?
Who's a better major league hitter, Tyler Wade or Dyson Acosta, who's a relief pitcher?
They're probably the same. Like, when you think about it, they're probably close to the same.
Yeah, it's not that big of a loss. Okay, so we've been talking about the winter meetings being underway. Annie Heilbrunn will join us at 3:30. Kevin Acee will join us tomorrow. So in this article from Dennis, and the headline was like, the Padres are listing on Nick Pivetta, which is a significant headline. That's going to draw clicks. But then like a handful of paragraphs down is this, where he writes, executives around the sport believe the Padres eventually will be forced to consider trading Fernando Tatis Jr. He's far more movable than infielders Manny Machado and Xander Bogaerts. The trio will make more than $90 million beginning in 2027. For now, though, the Padres plan to keep Tatis, who, like Machado and Bogaerts, wields full no-trade protection for the foreseeable future as they seek to maximize what could be a shrinking window of postseason contention. And we've talked about this a lot. And I stick by what you said earlier. Tatis will be a Padre in 2026. Now, I can't speak for what's going to happen with the new ownership group and potentially a new general manager somewhere down the line. Where is the Preller extension? It makes no sense. Where is that? Is it coming? Why
Weird,
is it not
right?
coming? His deal's up in 10 months.
Yeah, time's ticking, buddy.
It doesn't make any sense. But listen, I think Tatis is here now. But with everything going on with this organization, I can't say that he's going to be here later. And I don't. With each passing day, it would be more and more surprising if Tatis was here, like through his 30s, like that statue deal. The statue might be built like on the south side of Chicago, not necessarily in Southern California, because I just don't know if Tatis is going to have another, 8 or 9 years in San Diego based on these payroll questions that apparently are plaguing the Padres heading into 2026.
It's a scary thing to think about, because when you look at the future of this team, they have a lot of money tied up into players that are going to end up having really, really bad contracts.
It's awful contracts, Jim. Awful.
Like the worst contracts in baseball. And they're already considered the worst contracts in baseball. And we haven't even gotten to the part of the contract where we all thought like, oh, this part of the contract in year 6, 7, 8, oh man, it's going to look awful then. We're already at that point. And so because of that, the fact that these rumors are swirling about Fernando Tatis Jr. being traded eventually, not now, but eventually because the Padres can't afford him, this team needs somebody with deep pockets that cares to swoop in the worst way. Like the Seidler bros, this ain't it for you. This is not something that you're good at. You're not going to be good at it. Just, I'm glad that they put the team up for sale when they did and didn't try to, force a square peg into a round hole and think that they could do this when they really can't. Hopefully someone comes in, because if not, I would not be surprised one bit if Fernando Tatis Jr. finishes his career somewhere else.
It's not necessarily the time for this, but it is an offseason, and I do wonder what this organization would look like if Peter still owned it. Because nobody expected his tenure to end. I mean, nobody knew that he would untimely pass when he did, and I just wonder what would be different. And I don't know what would be different. I can't say what would be different, but I just know it would be different if he was still here.
He would find a way. Like he was the ultimate find a way guy. Did he have the deepest pockets? No. Was he this super uber rich owner? No, but he found a way. Now, if finding a way means taking out excessive loans that eventually the team and franchise will be in debt later on, okay. But I agree with you. I do feel like he would have found a way to make it work. Some of it wouldn't have been pretty, but I don't think we would be in the situation we are in now.
I agree.
So, yeah, I think that his brothers really don't want to do this, never wanted to do it, have no clue what they're doing. Jon is the most, mysterious owner I could ever imagine. Like, I still know nothing about him. The fans know nothing about him. And the actions of the organization speak louder than words, and he never even speaks. So I have to go off of the actions of the organization. Now, they didn't really, get rid of everybody last year. They kept everybody for a final run. They kept Pivetta, they kept Cease, they kept King, they kept Arise. They added the deadline, even though they didn't really add a bunch of money because Mason Miller was making nothing. O'Hearn was a free agent. Laureano's making a couple million here and there. It wasn't like they added $20 million in payroll at the deadline, but they did trade away a lot of future prospects and good prospects to bring back proven major league talent. It just feels like this is on a slow downward spiral. Like it's slowly going down. Like the stock is going down for the San Diego Padres. And it's just the proof's in the pudding. Look at the moves they're making. Now, they're going to obviously have to make more moves. But if this is a precursor unto what's going to happen, like, hey, this is the types of moves you guys should expect this offseason. The Ty Adcocks of the world and the who they signed today. I can't remember his name.
Kyle Hart, Dyson Acosta,
and
Luis Campusano. Your major league moves.
That's scary.
I mean, is Dyson Acosta major league move, Jim?
I think he is. I think he's a major league invite. I mean, the Padres social media team made a graphic for him.
It was a beautiful graphic. Think about the last two graphics. Like one offseason, we got like Snell and Darvish graphics. This offseason, we're getting Acosta and Adcock graphics. But your four major league moves, if we have this right, someone correct me if I'm wrong. Kyle Hart, Luis Campusano, Ty Adcock, Dyson Acosta. Get your tickets now. I mean, come on.
No,
but they've already done their work. We've got a core. I get it, but other teams have cores too. I mean, you're not really adding. That's the issue. All right. On the other side, much more on this, including the Padres getting close to finalizing a coaching staff for Craig Stammen. What will that look like? We'll share that with you. On the other side, we'll hear more from Craig Stammen coming up at 3 p.m. We've got Aztec basketball tickets to give away. They're playing Wednesday night back at VA House Arena. We'll give away pairs of tickets in the 3, 4, and 5 o'clock hours. And Annie Heilbrunn will join us coming up at 3:30 to talk about more of the Padres at the winter meetings. We are here until 6 p.m. It's Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, you can join San Diego Sports 760, ESAT, SeaWorld, Cable Pipe and Leak Detection, and Crowley Car Company to support Rady Children's Hospital this holiday season. Tomorrow and Wednesday, you're going to hear stories of hope and healing from Rady Children's patients and families during the iHeart Rady Children's Give-a-thon. Make a donation today by texting SPORTS to 34984. That's SPORTS to 34984, or donate at radyfoundation.org/give-a-thon. Jon and Jim with you until 6 p.m. Annie Heilbrunn will join us coming up at 3:30. We have Aztec basketball tickets. We'll give them away every hour, 3, 4, and 5 o'clock hour here today. Now, do you feel different about the Padres' chances, Jim, in 2026 when I share this with you? All right.
Yes.
Tell me if you feel differently.
Okay.
This from Dennis Lim. The Padres are close to finalizing their coaching staff for Craig Stammen. Per sources, they're expected to add Bob Henley at third base coach. Tim Leeper, we hardly knew you, even though he was here 2 years. And we know he's already taken a job, I think, with the Mets. Is it Kevin Plawecki? Is that even how you say it?
Yeah, former catcher.
Yeah, he's going to be your catching coach, whatever that means. And
catching
then Ryan
coach.
Goins. And then Ryan Goins. Hey, let's go
catching
catch.
Coach.
Let's go catch.
Here's how you catch a baseball.
Yeah, go catch it. And then Ryan Goins, who's going to be your infield coordinator or coach. Nick Punto, who helped coach the infield last year, is returning. And first base coach David Macias. Is it Macias or Macias?
Macias, I think.
Is also returning. So now that you are hearing and seeing this coaching staff rounded out, you feel like maybe they'll make a run.
Who did they hire to be their hitting coach?
That's a great question.
Like you could have
Everyone's
me guess
so high on him.
100 times and I could not guess it.
Everyone's so high on him. He was with the Rays. Steven Souza Jr.
Oh yeah, Steven Souza Jr. That guy.
And they also hired, remember, Randy Knorr to be the. Remember this? Hold on. Remember this? The season ended, they're like, oh, the whole staff will be back. And then when Schilt left, they're like, everyone's still going to be back. They love the continuity of the staff.
They replaced everybody.
The whole staff is turned over. There's going to be like 13 new coaches.
Did they fire? Like what?
Guys took other jobs, and all these nationals coming in. These former members of the Nationals coaching staffs.
Look, this could be the greatest coaching staff ever assembled, and we just don't know it yet. Like, that is the biggest bunch of who's in the entire world.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Again, could be a great coaching staff. They could change the game of baseball. They could be like next level thinking when it comes to the sport. At this moment in time, on December 8th, they are the biggest bunch of randos in the entire league. Like, I'm sorry. Name me another staff that is worse on paper than this one. I'll wait.
No, the only thing I would say to refute that, and I'm being serious, is Ruben Yabla.
Oh, yeah.
You have an established, experienced pitching coach.
I'm talking about the guys they just hired. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, well, Steven Souza did wonders with the Rays. I mean, did he? And that's going to impact the Padres. What they're going to tell me how. What impact is this going to have on Fernando Tatis Jr.? Are we going to credit Steven Souza if Tatis puts together a nice year?
Do you think if Albert Pujols was the manager that this would be the same coaching staff?
Oh my gosh, it would look completely different.
Or they have like Yadier Molina on it and Fernando Tatis Sr. on it and like a bunch of Hall of Famers. I don't know. Again, the coaching staff is the coaching staff. The players are what matter the most. You could have Hall of Famers up and down your bench for your coaches, and it still wouldn't matter if your players don't produce. But I'm just saying, on first glance, there's really not that like, oh, okay. Again, I don't know these guys at all. We'll get to know them over the course of however long they're here for. Maybe it's just 1 year. Maybe it's multiple years. Yeah. But as of right now, nothing really there inspiring about the new coaching staff, if you ask me.
To your point, and listen, have they won winter meetings and off seasons and trade deadlines? Yes.
Yeah.
Does it mean anything? Maybe not.
Right.
But isn't there something to be said for, to your point, and this wasn't going to happen maybe, but like, hey, Albert Pujols is your hitting coach. It's not a knock on Steven Souza. Maybe he'll be good. Or, your bench coach. Yeah, I almost want to name. I just from a credibility perspective, because you look around with the Padres right now, like Craig Stammen, it's not really a name as your manager. Your hitting coach, whom? Your bench coach, what? Like your catching coach or whatever they call these.
Catching coach.
This isn't like an all-star staff. Now, does it have to be? No. I'm putting way more of this on the Nick Pavettas, assuming he's here, and the Fernando Tatis Jr.'s than I am on Steven Souza and Ruben Yabla. So I'm going to put it on these players more than this staff. And I'm putting it on A.J. Preller and the front office to put together a competent roster. for the Padres. That to me is what matters the most. But yeah, I don't know what to think about it because I do think it is, if nothing else, it's uphill for Craig Stammen. I don't think you start from day one with this seasoned, advanced manager. And he even admitted it as such. He said, I'm going to make mistakes. And all of them do. All of them, including the best in the sport, make mistakes. But I don't know if they're in a position, Jim, where they can throw games away, would be my point in 2026. Like, they're going to have thin margins. You're only going to want to throw away so many games in 2026 if you want to get to the postseason.
Like, the thing with the coaching staff, for a first-time manager, usually what we see is they hire a former manager to be their bench coach.
That's right.
To help out with the new manager to, hey, in this situation, be ready for this, right? Be ready for this. And just kind of help him navigate through maybe his first couple seasons as a big league manager. There's none of that here. Right. Again, it's the coaching staff. So I'm not going to get too worked up over the coaching staff. Like, who cares at the end of the day? But it is interesting that when you look at the names that are being, brought into San Diego to be put on this coaching staff, there are a bunch of randos, never really heard of them guys before. You look at what San Francisco Giants did with Tony Vitello. Say what you want. They brought in Ron Washington and former old friend Jace Tingler to be on his staff. Two former managers there with Tony Vitello. Again, does it matter? I don't know, but usually that's what you see. And again, I'm not going to get too worked up. This is probably the last time that I'll really fully dive into their coaching staff unless something happens with it. But they decided to replace majority of the coaching staff, which is interesting when they were kind of preaching a little bit of the opposite anyway. They've made Ruben Niebla the assistant manager or whatever, manager in waiting. That's stupid. I don't know.
Yeah, what is his title? Associate manager? I
think so. Pitching coach / associate manager. They kept Ben Fritz around and whatever, but I don't know. The thing is,
would you feel any differently about this team if Ruben Niebla was the manager?
No.
I'm just wondering because, Niebla, at least we knew, was on the staff. He had expressed interest in becoming a manager. I think it would still be a question mark. He's a good pitching coach, but is he a good manager?
Actually, I think I would feel differently.
Okay,
I think I would.
How so?
He's been a coach for how long in the bigs?
Time.
Craig Stammen had to have his arm twisted by AJ Preller during the interview process to interview for the job. He didn't even want this.
Right.
Craig Stammen never wanted this. He had to be convinced of it by AJ Preller. So yeah, I would actually feel different. I take that back. I would feel different because Ruben Niebla has been in the big leagues as a coach for how long now? He's been in that dugout as a coach for how long?
That's a good point.
And Craig Stammen didn't even want it in the first place.
That was the one big knock, and I'm with you on the Stammen thing, was you went to him, not the other way around. You being the Padres. The Padres went to him, not the other way around. And when you think about that in life, do you want something or does someone else want something for you? And it's a big difference. It is a big difference. And you just wonder, Craig Stammen, is he going to be in it for the long haul or is he in it for the now? But what if things don't go well? How badly does Craig Stammen really need it or want it? I certainly doesn't it for 2026. Yeah, he doesn't. That's the thing. He's does he really need it?
He had such a cush job. He's a front office advisor. He can go out and play golf every single day. He gets to be with his family all the time. Doesn't have to go on road trips. A 10-day road trip through Cincinnati, Washington, and Pittsburgh. Right? He can
it's raining half the time.
Right. He can stay in San Diego with his kids. Go golfing. Be a part of the organization. Get a paycheck. Live a cush life. Retired player. Dude, you're good. So I would feel different to answer your question. Yeah, I would feel a lot different if Ruben Niebla was the manager of this team instead of Craig Stammen.
Well, We don't live in that world. And we're going to hear from Craig Stammen on the other side from MLB Network earlier today, live from Orlando at the winter meetings. He sat down with the crew for about 3 or 4 minutes. You'll hear from Craig Stammen on the other side. Annie Heilbrunn will join us coming up at 3:30. And we have Aztec basketball tickets for Wednesday night against Lamar at Viejas Arena. We have pairs of tickets we'll give away in the 3, 4, and 5 p.m. hours here today. So we're here until 6 p.m. Just getting started. Jon and Jim, hour 2 on the other side, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by Taco Bell. We'll start with the winter meetings. They're underway in Orlando. Padres have made a big-time splash today signing right-handed pitcher Dyson Acosta to a 1-year major league contract. Yay. San Diego State will be going to the New Mexico Bowl in Albuquerque, where they will face number 25 North Texas on December 29th. The Aztecs will be also looking for a new defensive coordinator, as Rob Orich has left the school to be the new defensive coordinator at Nebraska. Taco Bell's Lux Cravings Box gives you decadent options. $5 gets you the fan favorites, $7 gets you the fancy stuff, and $9 sends you on a journey of flavor exploration. Get yours at participating stores for a limited time. Prices and participations may vary. Drinks exclude freezes, taxes extra.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. We are here until 6 p.m. Yeah, we're covering the winter meetings too. Actually, we'll spend about 4 hours on the winter meetings. So with you until 6 p.m. Annie Heilbrunn will join us at 3:30. We will talk NFL with Will Brinson, who will join us coming up at 4:30. Chiefs about to turn their season around in 2026. Will Brinson will join us coming up at 4:30. We have Aztec tickets to give away every hour today. This is for Wednesday night at VA House against Lamar. We'll give away tickets this hour, next hour, and then the 5 p.m. hour as well. Jim, how are you, man?
I'm good. How are you, John? You're in Park City, right?
I'm in Park City, dude. I've been, shredding.
Shredding, bro? So wait, let me get this straight. You went to Park City for like 2 nights?
3 nights.
3 nights. Now,
and I'm doing a show.
How do you get there?
What do you mean? How do you? I skied.
I don't do you fly into Park City? I'm so curious.
Okay, it's a great spot for San Diegans. I'm sure a lot of San Diegans are aware. You just go to Salt Lake, and then it's a 40-minute drive. Uber. It's like a $40 or $50 Uber from Salt Lake.
Not bad.
So
not bad.
You get to Salt Lake, and then you go like 40 miles, maybe. And it's a really cool spot. I mean, Kristen is in love with it. We've probably been 4 or 5 times in the last 5 or 6 years. I've been here when San Diego State's played BYU, even though it's nowhere near BYU, but we've stayed in Park City because, I'm married to Kristen. But
you just need to go where she wants to go.
That's the thing. So she wanted to get away, and my schedule, and I'm like, I'm constantly away. And I got to be back tomorrow because we've got the iHeartRadio Children's Give-a-thon.
Right.
So there's a lot of juggling that's going on, but I'm like, sure. So yesterday Jones had a ski lesson, which went well, and then today we went tubing, which was super fun.
Must be nice.
Have you done tubing?
Come on, John. Of course, everybody's tubed before. If you've been in the snow, you've tubed.
Everyone's tubed.
Everybody's tubed. If you've been in the snow, tubing, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Tubing is like what you do if you don't want to ski or snowboard.
That's me.
And most people don't know how to ski or don't want to ski, and they can't snowboard because it's too difficult. So they just go tubing. Yeah, exactly. You.
Yeah, that's exactly. So are you a skier?
What do you think?
No chance in hell.
No, zero chance. The first and last time that I skied was a disaster. I couldn't stay upright if my life depended on it. I mean, I could, but I had no control. It just was not good. And then when I tried snowboarding, it was a little easier, but at the same time, I had this urge to take my foot out to stop myself. Cause when you snowboard, it feels like you're skateboarding. I want to stop myself. So you're attached, and how I would stop would be, I would just fall down. So
Jim pizza when he should have French fried.
Exactly.
Right. Well, so you and I are similar. I mean, listen, I'll ski. Yeah, I've skied here. I've skied in Jackson Hole. It's amazing I haven't broken anything. Knock on wood. I thought I was going to break something today tubing. I don't even know if that's possible.
You could break things tubing. It's easy. It's
flying, man. You are flying.
I know. Especially if you hit a jump, you'll eat it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so that's why I'm in Park City, and I'm heading back tomorrow morning. And yeah, it's good to get away, even though I'm doing a 4-hour radio show from a hotel room right now in Utah. All right, let's hear from Craig Stammen. So Craig Stammen was on MLB Network earlier today. This is about 3 or 4 minutes with the crew on set in Orlando, just talking about the state of the Padres, about his debut as manager in 2026. This is Craig Stammen with MLB Network.
It almost comes down to, wait, a relief pitcher. I don't know why there's relief pitcher bias, but there is. But with the Padres, you pitch for them. But I don't know. I guess they figure relievers are on their own island. You tell me, how is that integrated into the general squad?
Yeah, that's a good thought right there. I mean, we're out there in the bullpen, out behind the outfield wall. We're kind of our own little team, though.
Yeah.
And so there's leadership involved in that little team out there in the bullpen, and we've got to find our ways to integrate ourselves into the rest of the ball club, too. And so that was kind of my role in the team when I was with the Padres the last 6-7 years with them. And so I got to know those position players. Like, you can go on the airplanes when we're traveling to all the cities and play cards with them and hang out with them that way, not just in the dugout. But I think that's where I built those relationships, and hopefully those relationships carry on here with my new role.
But you were in baseball operations, right? So you're there, A.J. Preller, president of baseball operations. What were you doing for the Padres in the last few years?
Yeah, special assistant the last 2 years. When I got done playing, I went right into helping out in the player development with the minor league pitchers and traveling around to all the minor league affiliates and just being a mentor to the players and being somebody that they could count on and rely on and ask questions to that they maybe didn't feel comfortable asking the coaches, and I could give them real, hopefully major league advice. And then I was also with the big league team as a part-time, basically assistant coach. So being there whenever I could with the big league team and being in staff, being in uniform pregame, and just being with the players and getting to know them that way. And then during the game, being with AJ and Josh in the front office and getting to see how they, do things behind the curtain that I didn't get to see as a player. So I got a kind of full range of everything.
You know what, Rodney? I don't know if I could have a former teammate as my manager. Like, you're going to have because they know too much about you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, you know me, man. What's that conversation been like with Manny and Tatis?
Yeah, it's been actually really good. And I think we're all going to enjoy it, honestly. It's like it's going back and playing backyard baseball with your buddies. Somebody's got to separate the teams and organize it and be the leader. And I think hopefully they see me as that person for the team. And they've shown me so much respect, and I have so much respect for them. Those guys are some of the greatest players in our sport, but they're also some of the greatest people, too.
Yeah.
So those relationships go beyond baseball, but it'll be more fun to integrate that into baseball.
Well, you go from special assistant, one of the safest jobs you could ever have, to now one of the jobs that is not so safe. But everyone I've talked about that knows you well, knows you're going to be a leader of men, that must be the most exciting part about it.
It is. For me, like, I've always loved leadership. My dad talked about it when I was 8 years old, how to get the guys riled up in the dugout. So it was something that always was in the back of my mind and always something that I really enjoyed. And so to be in this position as the manager of the Padres, be in that leadership position, gets me really excited. I'm just looking forward to it, looking forward to leading these guys on the field and leading, the staff and connecting with the front office too.
What strengths do you think come from just recently getting off the field that would help you being a manager now?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is I understand how difficult the game is. And I have, I wasn't very good at the end, so I can relate to when...
None of us were about that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we all dreamt of being really good at the end, and it just was like, we're hanging on for dear life.
Don't take my jersey.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's Koufax, Messina, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So I can relate to what those guys are going through, where they're at in their careers. Even the younger guys getting sent down to AAA or making the team out of spring training. Those are all things that happen to all of us, and we can relate. And it's recent in my mind, so it's a little easier for me to have those conversations, I believe.
So that was Craig Stammen with MLB Network earlier today about his new role as Padres manager.
It makes you want to run through an open door, I can tell you that.
Through an open door. Yeah, I mean, listen, I have no issues with Craig Stammen.
I don't
really
either.
don't.
I really don't. I'm just
Yeah. I think
poking fun at the situation.
I think he's likable, but one of the weird things to me, and Preller spoke on this like the day of the announcement, is like, well, he really relates well to the players because he played with them. I'm like, so, okay, you hired him because he played with them? And what happens 3 years from now when he didn't play with the guys because the team changes? Like, is that a reason to hire someone because he played with these guys?
it's going to be interesting if there is ever a moment of like, that's why they hired Craig Stammen, or like, that's why AJ Preller wanted Craig Stammen to be the manager of this team. You know, we kind of had that moment with Mike Schilt in the second half of 2024 where you're like, oh, okay. I thought the guy was a complete D-bag, but he was a good manager, right? He was insufferable to listen to, but he was a good manager. And there was that aha moment. The second half, Schilt, like he brings his team to the postseason, 90-win Schilt, right? I don't know when we're going to have that moment with Craig Stammen. Maybe it comes early. Maybe it comes late. Maybe it never comes, right? It never came with Jay Stingler. Jay Stingler, we had a realization of like, this guy ain't it, even before we've ever had that guy is the right guy, right? You just, I don't know if we're going to have that with Craig Stammen, that aha moment, and understand why AJ hired him. And shoot, maybe AJ's not even here to see out the contract of Craig Stammen, because this team, an organization, has decided to just like put off giving him a contract extension for whatever reason.
It is like a moratorium. It's a really good point. Like AJ Preller, who has faults, but so does the organization. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. AJ Preller, who has guided the Padres to the postseason, 4 times since 2020 and 3 times the last 4 years. I get it. Postseason has expanded. I get it. We all want to see them in a World Series and win one. But like, he's done some good in here over the last 4 years. But for whatever reason, they'll extend Eric Grubner and they'll give Craig Stammen a 3-year deal. But AJ Preller's contract is up at the end of 2026. Now, if that's Preller saying, let me wait on it. Okay, that's one thing.
Right.
If the ball is in his court and he's uncertain about his future because of the unstable organization, I mean, they're exploring a sale, for goodness sakes. So if that's on Preller, I kind of get it from his perspective. Maybe he wants to pursue something else at the end of the year. But if that's on the organization, honestly, from my seat, I find that inexcusable. If the organization is slow playing an AJ Preller contract extension, you get too cute here and he walks, you're not going to be better off for it. That's just how I feel. And I feel like they're getting to a point where, like, when are you going to do this? And I don't know the answer.
I don't know the answer either. It's very odd that we are now at the winter meetings and he still does not have a contract extension. Is anybody else in this town talking about it?
No.
Has anybody else brought it up? Or is everybody just turning a blind eye because they want to bow down to the organization to keep their credentials? Like, is anybody going to man up and really push forward and ask the question and get to the bottom of AJ Preller's contract status? Because that, to me, is a massive, massive story. And I don't know why they have not given him a contract extension yet, or why those questions aren't being asked. And the fact that it's just like, business is normal, but AJ's contract is up, as you put out a tweet today, it's up in 10 months. Like, okay, how is this not weird, guys?
I mean, maybe it's on AJ. Maybe AJ is the one holding the contract on his desk because he's the one that has been forced to sign Kyle Hart, Luis Campusano, Dyson Acosta, and Ty Cobb, or whatever the guy's name was. Not Ty Cobb.
Ty Adcock. I wish they signed Ty Cobb. That'd be cool.
I mean,
from the grave.
Your 4 major league moves have totaled like $2 million.
Less, maybe.
I mean, give me a break. All right, more on the winter meetings underway in Orlando at this hour. Plus, Annie Heilbrunn will join us coming up at 3:30. Plus, we have more Aztec tickets to give away. Let's do that on the other side. San Diego State Lamar, Wednesday night, Viejas Arena. We'll give away 2 free tickets to that game on the other side. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey guys, it is Jon and Jim again for the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. And as we've been telling you for months now open is the hotel and spa at Jamul. It really is the next level of luxury. You can treat yourself to a stunning new stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, and all the thrills of Jamul Casino Resort now all in one unforgettable destination.
Yeah, you can savor San Diego's ultimate endless dining experience at Jamul 23. From their world-famous lobster brunch served every morning to the luxurious VIP endless dining experience each evening, you can indulge in chef-created specialties, fresh seafood, prime cuts, and decadent desserts, all with stunning panoramic views.
You will love the spa at Jamul. You can unwind in style, experience pure relaxation with indulgent treatments, serene spaces, and a retreat designed to refresh your body and mind. Only at Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. All right, San Diego Sports 760 congratulates our $5,000 winners in iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher powered by Donors Choose. There's still time for you to nominate a public school teacher making a difference. And maybe they'll be one of our next winners of $5,000 to make over their classroom. Help us say thank you to the educators shaping our future. Nominate your favorite teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. I had this thought in my mind. Like, hey, nominate a teacher to be on Craig Stammen's coaching staff. Like you could be the teaching coach.
They already have a catching coach.
Help us make over the Padres in 2026.
I mean,
nominate your favorite teacher.
I mean, no one knows who these guys are anyway, so who cares? They just hire some random person. It's fine.
All right, so where are we one day into the winter meetings? Like, what have we learned? We've learned, okay, Cronenworth they're going to listen on. Maybe they're going to actively try to
like all of the winter meetings, or just Padres related.
Forget all the winter meetings. I don't care that the Blue Jays are in on Robert Suarez. Great, congratulations. You know what I mean? I mean, okay. I kind of care, but we'll talk about it when he signs.
Okay.
What I care about is, okay, are you going to move Jay Cronenworth? Interesting. Are you really listening on Nick Pivetta? Are the Padres going to complete their coaching staff? What else Padres specific has happened here in the first 12 hours of the winter meetings? I think that basically has been the storyline.
For the Padres, yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, Mason Miller. You say this? Mason Miller
Yes,
and
good point.
not Jeremiah Estrada. Adrian Morhone and David Morgan will not be moved to the rotation this year.
Okay, let me ask you this, because Dan has speculated on this a little bit. Are they loading up on like relief arms in an effort to maybe move a surefire reliever? Now, you're not going to save a lot of money in moving, I don't name the pitcher, Jeremiah Estrada, but maybe you get a return. You've added pieces to your bullpen. Do you move a piece in your bullpen, get yourself a little bit of cap relief, and get some pieces back in return?
That would be
Dumb.
my guess.
Okay, I thought you said it.
Dumb? No, I wouldn't say no. That would be my guess, is that if you're looking to move assets to fill other holes in your roster, mainly in your rotation, because that is the biggest area of need for you as a club right now, would you say?
Yes.
Okay. The assets that you have to trade that at the big league level, to me, I would say you have two that you're probably willing to part with to help fill other holes, and that would be Jake Cronenworth and Jeremiah Estrada.
What does Estrada make? But yeah, fair point, because he has you're saying he has value.
He makes nothing.
Right.
He makes nothing, but he has value, is my point. And you don't have all a surplus of talent in the minors because you've traded it all away. And so you don't have that big time prospect that you can just dangle out there just by that himself and in return get a major league starting pitcher for. You know, Ethan Salas has lost all of the shine on him as a prospect. You would need to attach so much to Ethan Salas to get what you're looking for in return from him. Because I just don't think the league views Ethan Salas as this like hot commodity or this big time asset in the Padres organization that if we could just pry him away, that would be amazing. I don't see it.
Right.
That guy was Leo DeVries, and he got traded last year to the Oakland, Sacramento, Las Vegas A's. So you have to look at every which way about this. And that's why I also think Pavetta is just being talked about, because he's a free agent at the end of the year, and you're looking to get multiple pieces to maybe flip those pieces for proven major league talent. I just think right now the two assets they have are Estrada and Jake. And I think both of those guys, if they want to fill the holes they have on this team, probably going to have to look to try to trade those guys this offseason.
It's interesting you say that, because obviously, and we agree, I think Pavetta is an asset, but why would you get rid of an asset in your area of weakness? So
100%,
of course he's an asset. He doesn't make a ton, even by starting pitching, you know, whatever he's going to make this year, 19, that's a good number for starting pitching. And you might say, well, you could get a return and you save $19 million, but don't you have to backfill in your rotation?
Yeah.
And your return isn't going to be a pitcher of the caliber of Nick Pivetta, because why would a team do that? You're not trading Nick Pivetta for a frontline starting pitcher. So listen, Preller can get creative. I mean, he's been able to do this before, and I've been skeptical before, highly skeptical at times. But also, what message are you sending? Like, I see it in the chat. Like, are the Padres, I mean, are they even interested in contending to like win at the highest level? Or are they interested in contending to like vie for a playoff spot? Because when I see these moves, the Adcocks, the Campies, like, okay, well, solid core, $200 million payroll. Yeah, but everything you're doing is to put yourself in a position to win like 80-something games. And not everything you're doing is to put yourself in a position to win like game 3 of a wild card series. So there's a difference for me. And it feels more like right now, it's like, can we get to the postseason with our payroll? Can we piecemeal that together? But it's not like, hey, are we a true baseball contender heading into 2026? Because even ESPN.com last week, we talked about it. They had the Padres as like the 13th best team in the sport, which, you know, isn't great. It's not to say that they're right, but like, what happened to the team that 2 years ago was vying with the Dodgers in the postseason and led 2-1 in that series? It just feels like they've taken a step back from that moment 2 years ago.
And I actually don't have that big of a problem with their lineup. Like, it's crazy. Right. We haven't talked about their lineup really extensively. once this offseason. I mean, we've mentioned it and talked about it. They need a first baseman, obviously, with the loss of Luis Ariz. Good, right? Don't bring him back. They need bench help, right? But other than that, if they trade Jake, then you're going to need to replace Jake. But you can replace these pieces. Other than that, Ramon Laureano's back in left field. Jackson Merrill's in center. Tatis is in right. Manny's at third. Xander's at short. Jake for the time being's at second. You need a first baseman, and you got Freddie Fermin and Luis Campusano behind the plate. Like, their lineup is pretty set, but what we've seen is this core of players, they've failed. They have not been able to get over that hump. They have not proven they can get over that hump. So what's it going to take to add to this core to help them get over that hump? And right now, they have the biggest need in their rotation. So it has nothing to do with their lineup. It has everything to do with the rotation. And once the rotation is figured out, then we can talk about the offense, when ironically, the offense has been the number one problem to end their season the last 2 years. And yet we haven't really talked about their offense once this offseason.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting. All right, Annie Heilbrunn, we'll talk to Annie about what she makes of the Nick Pivetta rumors and more as the winter meetings are underway. So Annie Heilbrunn from the UT will join us on the other side. We promised you a pair of tickets to see the Aztecs Wednesday night against Lamar. Caller 4, you are going. Call right now, 877-767-4760. 2 free tickets to see San Diego State Lamar Wednesday at 7. Caller 4, 877-767-4760. Annie Heilbrunn next on Jon and Jim.
This update's brought to you by Taco Bell. Winter meetings are underway. Padres officially made one move today. They signed right-handed pitcher Dyson Acosta to a one-year deal. San Diego State football will be going to the New Mexico Bowl in Albuquerque, where they will face number 25 North Texas on December 27th. And the Aztecs will be looking for a new defensive coordinator, as Rob Orich has left the school to be the new DC at Nebraska. Taco Bell's Lux Craving Box gives you decadent options. $5 gets you fan favorites, $7 gets you the fancy stuff, and $9 sends you on a journey of flavor exploration. Get yours at participating stores for a limited time. Prices and participation may vary. Drinks excludes freezes. Taxes extra.
All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. All right, Annie Heilbrunn. First of all, a couple of things here.
Yeah, let me take you on YouTube.
Let me take you behind the curtain for a second. I'm in Park City. All right.
Yeah.
Jim is out east. Annie Heilbrunn's in San Diego. We're doing a San Diego sports talk show. Nobody's in San Diego but Annie.
Right.
The winter meetings are in Orlando. We got a lot going on. I'm with my son and my wife. But Annie, thanks for hopping on. Hope you're doing well. Happy holidays. Thanks for joining us.
Happy holidays to you guys. Always great to be on with you. We are all over the country. Every time Jim says flavor exploration, I just picture him in some room with like psychedelic colors and
I kind of am in a room with psychedelic colors, Annie. Like I got colors going on everywhere in this room that I'm broadcasting in today. So it makes sense. It makes sense.
Annie, we need help.
Yes,
that goes well beyond this show, but we do need help. All right, look, I want to get to the winter meetings, what we learned today. Dennis Lynn writing that the Padres are listing on Nick Pivetta. If you follow A.J. Preller, as you have throughout the course of his career here, he's going to listen on his players. So are you at all surprised in that reporting that came out today?
Yeah, I think just surprised to see it put pen to paper. And I understand where the reports are coming from in because of what you just said. Because A.J. Preller calls and listens on everyone, it is factually correct that he's listening to anything that might come up about Nick Pavetta, just like he was listening to Dylan Cease last year, just like he was listening to this person and that person. So I do think that I guess the only thing that I would say is like, I guess you can't completely rule it out just because we don't really know their situation in terms of what might be changing with the sale of the team and with where they are with constraints with their payroll already. But it just seems unlikely. And even Dennis had this in his article, right? That it just seems unlikely that you would lose your ace, the ace of your staff, when your rotation is already incredibly thin. So while it's not impossible to see it happening, and while you can see a world where it does happen, I would be surprised to see it actually happen, unless they were getting something back that you just like an offer you just could not refuse.
It's funny. We were talking about this last segment here, Annie. Like we've talked about the pitching staff and the rotation almost every day when we talk Padres in the offseason. Yet the biggest issues with this team at the end of the year, the last two seasons, has been the offense. And now, looking at assets that they do have, one asset that they have that's potentially pretty movable is Jake Cronenworth. Trading Jake away for potential assets to fill in your rotation kind of seems like that is the only likely option of the players they have on this major league roster that's making money that they can move to potentially get some more assets. But that doesn't, fix any problems with their offense. It just kind of maybe fills a hole on the side over here while the dam is still leaking over here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I look at that and it's kind of the same thing as if Pavetta was leaving, although Pavetta would be such a bigger hole in the sense of the rotation being so thin. But it's like you're in a boat and your boat's taking on water and you're going to plug the hole, but your boat's still sinking, right? Like now you have all the pressure, you've got something else going on now in the back of the boat and everything's still kind of sinking. So not that the Padres are sinking, but just right. That you're kind of, they do have some difficult decisions this year, it seems like. And we all use the term creative. Oh, A.J. Preller's just got to be creative. Well, creative for the last year or two means very difficult, right? Like, because they just don't have an open checkbook. So he's got to be creative. I think that you do have some hard decisions where it's like, okay, you don't want necessarily to see Jake Cronenworth go, and you do need to work on the hitting part of it and get guys back to being who you sign them to these long contracts to be. I think that's where the Padres will tend to come from. I think if you listen to their language, it's like, yeah, we need bats, but we need the guys that we already have on our roster to be who we sign them to these long contracts for, to get back to being themselves, to get back to being the hitters that we know they can be. Whether or not they can do that, none of us really know, right? But that's kind of where they're going from. And financially, that kind of makes sense as well. But for Jake Cronenworth, it's an interesting one because he is on the other side of 30. I think he's 31. And he's definitely serviceable, and he's a good player, and his contract does not, it's not going to completely break a team if they take on that contract, but it's not necessarily like the cheapest contract either. It's just like, it's like their only doable contract, their only kind of realistic contract, So you've got to have a team that I think that would be able to take that on, knowing that the back years for Jake Cronenworth probably are not going to be that great, just like they're probably not going to be guaranteed for a lot of these other players. But that's a position of need, I guess, for the team that would be wanting him. So some difficult decisions that would happen there. And I tend to wonder if they actually will make that kind of a trade, because they do really love Jake Cronenworth a lot. But that's the kind of difficult or creative decision that AJ Preller is going to have to deal with this offseason.
Yeah, completely agree. Annie Heilbrunn from the UT with us right now on Jon and Jim. We also learned today, it appears as if they won't convert relievers to starters, whether it's a Mason Miller, Adrian Morahone, a David Morgan. Do you agree that would be a smart decision? Yes, they have holes to fill in the rotation, but maybe it's wishful or stretching, or you can get someone hurt if you try to stretch these guys out in 2026.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. I think that if you take them from the bullpen to the rotation and it's not a slam dunk, now you've just created problems in your bullpen, and now you have problems in your rotation. None of it is guaranteed. Like, it's always going to be a risk. And I'm not saying that you never take the risk. I mean, we've seen it happen with Michael King, with Seth Lugo. Like, there are guys, but those guys were just, aching, dying to be back in the rotation. I mean, Seth Lugo, it was all he could talk about and think about. And he hated that, I think it was the Mets, that they wouldn't allow him to develop more pitches and use his brain more. And, he really wanted to be back in the rotation. And I don't think Adrian Morahone is like that at all. I think he is very understanding of where his body is, and that his body is better off in the bullpen for his health. I'm not sure about Mason. It could be something that Mason wants to get back to at some point. And it could be something that they revisit down the road, even because he's under contract for so long. I think it's through 29 or 30 with the Padres. Like, he could become a starter in later years if that's the case. But at this point, I think with this kind of lead up, you're definitely, it's a risk that I don't know if you can afford to take with those guys. And then David Morgan, he was a shortstop turned pitcher. He became a pitcher in the big leagues. And not to say that he can't do it either, but I think it's what you just said. You've got this strength now in the bullpen. It's a risk because you don't really know how they're going to be in the rotation. And so let's just keep the bullpen a strength, and we'll worry about the rotation. But they do have definite holes to fill. And I don't think that Adcock, or who's the other guy?
Dyson something. Acosta.
Dyson. Okay. I think that my understanding is kind of reading into it is those are kind of guys, they have the roster space. They're able to put them on the roster. They're guys that they can compete. They have options. So, like, think about Sean Reynolds. He is someone that the Padres let go this offseason, but he had no options left. But a guy like Dyson has options. He can go up and down if they need him to. So I don't think that those are like their major signings. I don't know that for sure, but that's going to be my guess here, is that they've got other stuff in mind. But these are guys that are kind of filling that need right now, of like a Sean Reynolds, or like a guy that can maybe go back and forth a little bit.
So are you still wondering when or if we're going to get resolution on AJ's future with the team?
Yes. I wonder what's going to happen when that happens. Like, what will Jon and Jim be like on that day?
Probably won't even exist anymore because it's probably taken forever.
I do wonder, it is a very fair question. What is the holdup, right? But I do, from what I've heard from AJ's people, okay, this is not come from Preller himself, so I don't know for sure, but is that, he's not worried about it. Like, he's got another year left, and he wanted to get Stammen figured out, and now he wants to get the roster figured out and whatever. But at the same time, it is weird. Like, you got to wonder too, does the sale Were they trying to get through the announcement of the sale and figure out what's going on with the sale before getting to that? My gut feeling on it was that they're going to try to, set people up before the sale happens. So meaning like, let's give people good contracts, long-term contracts, make them, kind of a pat on the back before the sale happens, in that sense of like, it's going to make it harder for the next person to like let them go, which is like I don't know how to say it, but like just like I said, like a pat on the back, like a taking care of your boy kind of thing, But at the same time, do they have the money to do that? Do they, not that Jay-Z's going to break the bank, but I don't know how much they're looking at the machinations of the finances and how much they want them to, look a certain way to try to get that sale to be pushed through and whatnot. So I feel like it's still going to happen before spring training or in spring training, like before the season starts. But it is an odd thing that they haven't just figured it out to this point.
Yeah, it's like the more you think about it, the more you're like, well, it doesn't make any sense. I honestly, I can't fully get my arms around it, but again, that's not necessarily my job. Annie, appreciate you taking time for us. Happy holidays to you, and look forward to doing it again soon.
Thanks, Annie.
Absolutely, guys. Anytime.
All
and
right,
maybe
great.
by the next time he'll have a contract, but I don't think so. But maybe by the next time.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. If you
But I
join
don't
us,
Wishful
in
thinking.
if you join us in like
All right, take care, guys.
Thanks,
See ya.
Annie. All right, Annie Heilbrunn from the UT. Let's get to Is That Good? The best and worst of the sports weekend on the other side. The wrap is ahead as well. We'll hear from Sean Lewis. Will Brinson will join the show. It's Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, hey guys, it is Schaefer, and there is no better time than now to get down to your local Toyota dealer. They do have new vehicles arriving each and every day. We're talking about their most popular cars, trucks, and SUVs. So whatever kind of vehicle you're looking for, you can hurry into your Toyota dealer today, or make sure to head to Toyota.com. If you're looking for a great deal on a new Toyota, there you can check out all the latest offers and search inventory, because finding the Toyota that's just right for you starts at Toyota.com. Toyota's Beyond Zero lineup of electrified vehicles helps to create a greener planet. Toyota's Beyond Zero lineup supports a greener planet with a wide range of electrified vehicles, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and fully electric vehicles. Or take each day further than you thought possible in a new Camry with its stylish looks that'll make an impression wherever you go. See your Toyota dealer today and discover what makes Camry legendary. There's no better time than now to get your local Toyota dealer. Get your local Toyota dealer today, or Toyota.com. That's Toyota.com. Your Toyota dealers. We make it easy. All right, Jon and Jim, Will Brinson coming up at 4:30. We'll talk about this weekend in the NFL. We'll get you ready for Monday Night Football. Chargers, Eagles coming up tonight. Will Brinson will join us at 4:30. We have Aztec basketball tickets to give away. We'll do that in both the 4 and 5 o'clock hours as well. But right now, let's get to this.
Is that good?
Wilcox, snapper, Huber, holder, from 29 yards away. Oh, he missed it badly. Kick on the way. Boswell. That's a winner.
The good and bad from the sports weekend.
Last night, Chiefs lost to the Texans 20-10. Chiefs are now 6-7. 6-7. Is that good? Yeah, it's good. The Chiefs' downfall is amazing to watch. Their devil magic, at least this year, has run out. They're not going to make the postseason. Patrick Mahomes in his prime, missing the postseason. Woof.
I mean, I haven't done the deep dive, but obviously Brady with the Patriots in his prime missed the postseason too, right? There were kind of two eras of Tom Brady. He missed the postseason.
When did he miss the postseason with the Patriots? Other than the year he tore his Achilles or tore his ACL.
One other year I decided, even if I made it up. Am I right?
I think when Brady was 30, which Patrick Mahomes is right now, the Patriots went undefeated in the regular season and he threw 50 touchdown passes.
Yeah, but they didn't win the World Series.
They didn't win the World Series. You're right, John. They did not win the World Series.
And they didn't win the Super Bowl. Did Brady make the postseason with the Patriots every year other than the year he missed the entire year?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I thought, I thought they had a down year.
I think maybe after their first Super Bowl win.
Okay.
But other than that, they went to the postseason like every year, I want to say.
They're pretty good.
They were very good, John.
No, I'm looking like you're right. He was hurt in 2008. All right, whatever. All right, here's my first. Is that good? Notre Dame. Man, are they bad.
We haven't even talked about this yet.
Man, they have, not only did they not make the playoff, they have cried about not making the playoff. Is that good?
10 athletes will face the toughest job interview in
What?
What? All right.
10 athletes.
Are we good?
Are we on the air?
No, he's not good.
Oh,
are you kidding me?
Okay.
All right. We are on the air. What do you make of this? And we could talk more about it, but man, being left out and then the way they've cried about this over the last 24 hours, it's kind of an epic collapse right in front of our eyes.
Yeah. For anybody defending Notre Dame, shut up. Because this is the ultimate take your ball and cry and go home. When you don't get your way, you quit. Like that is what this is, what Notre Dame has essentially done. They didn't get their way. They decided to quit, and they're not going to play in a bowl because they don't want to potentially lose in a bowl to get embarrassed after not making the college football playoff.
By the way, and the whole system is set up to benefit Notre Dame. They have no conference championship. They play Army and Navy every year. They set their own schedule. They play every game at home. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing is advantage Notre Dame.
Well, the committee has said by leaving Notre Dame out, either get into a conference or schedule better, non-conference game, or so have a better schedule.
Yeah, like you played Stanford. I mean,
yeah,
come on.
Like that's what they're saying is either you join a conference or you get a better schedule. And by the way, the one head-to-head game that you had in your season that mattered towards the college football playoff, you lost. So if you're doing a head-to-head, it's very simple. Miami versus Notre Dame. Who won that game? Miami. They're in.
They should be.
Now, if you want to make an argument that Alabama should not be in the college football playoff, I can have that argument with you.
Yeah, but look at who Alabama played. Look at who Notre Dame played.
Correct. And they also beat Georgia.
That's the thing. All right,
now,
what's your next? Is that good?
Then they did have the worst loss at Florida State, but still.
True, but they got a great win against Georgia on the road.
Right. On the road against Georgia, that's a pretty big win.
Yep.
So the Raiders lost to the Broncos yesterday. That's not is that good? The line on that game was 7.5, John.
Okay.
They were down by 10 with 4 seconds left.
Yep.
They decided to kick a field goal. I understand the logic of it because you need to get the ball back. You need to score twice. But they kicked the field goal with, I believe, 5 seconds left on the clock. That's not enough time to make a field goal from that distance and then try an onside kick, recover, and then Hail Mary it for the tie. So in the end, it's one of the worst bad beats you'll ever see. The line was 7.5. They kicked the field goal. They only lose by 7. Is that good?
No, it's no good. Are you kidding me?
Insane bad beat.
Yeah, it really is. How about this as we get ready for Monday Night Football coming up in an hour or so, Philadelphia and the Chargers. Saquon Barkley last year, 5.8 yards per carry. He ran for 2,000 yards. This year, 3.7 yards per carry. He's pacing to run for 1,000 yards. Is that good?
No, it's no good. Are you kidding me?
That's not good.
Done? Is he done?
Well, it's hard when a running back rushes for 2,000 yards and carries the ball 350 times and then come back next season.
I know. We've said that before.
It's not great. San Diego State football. They're going to the New Mexico Bowl on the 27th. They're going to face North Texas. They're like the number 1 offense in the country.
Yeah.
Is that good?
It is good!
So you got the matchup.
It's a sneaky, great matchup.
Yeah.
Top defense, one of the top defenses in the country against one of the top offenses, if not the top, to your point. They average 45 points a game. 45. That's an incredible total. San Diego State allowed 12 per game. Now, San Diego State's defensive coordinator, as you've been talking about, is gone for Nebraska. Well-deserved, Rob Orich, after 2 years at San Diego State. So we will see if the Aztecs can find a way back in Albuquerque just after Christmas to take on North Texas. Great group of 5 matchup. What were you saying?
We can talk about it later, but big question. Do the players that we have watched all year on defense, like Owen Chambliss, like Trey White, like Chris Johnson, are those guys going to be playing in the game or not?
I don't know. Sean Lewis spoke for 30 minutes today. I didn't hear the entirety of the press conference. I heard part of it. We'll hear some of it coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, but that is a good question. But I need to listen to the entirety of that press conference to see if there's any clarification. Here's my final one real quick before we end. Is that good? The Heisman finalists have been announced, Jim, and they are Fernando Mendoza, Indiana, Diego Pavia, Vanderbilt, Julian Sayin, the Carlsbad kid, and Jeremiah Love of Notre Dame. I don't know.
The votes have to be tallied or cast after the conference championship games or before?
They were cast after conference championships. All votes are in. There are 4 finalists, the 3 quarterbacks and Jeremiah Love of Notre Dame. Maybe Love will turn down the nomination.
Maybe he will. But congratulations to Mendoza of Indiana because he won the Heisman.
He's just won. Yeah, completely. Yeah. He's won the Heisman.
That was quite the game, wasn't it?
Kind of. I mean, it was. I mean, we watched the entire thing. It was a good defensive struggle. The missed field goal from 29 yards or 27 yards, that was ridiculous.
I mean, his throw to end the game, essentially, that back shoulder throw, that probably won him the Heisman.
I mean, he had a couple of great Heisman moments. The touchdown, basically the buzzer at Penn State, and then the win against Ohio State. We'll get to the wrap on the other side. We'll hear from Sean Lewis coming up. Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBS Sports, will join us coming up at 4:30. We have Aztec tickets to give away. Hour 3, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app is next.
10 athletes will face the toughest job interview in fitness that will push past physical and mental breaking points. Only one will leave with an iFit contract worth $250,000. This is Trainer Games. Watch it on Prime Video starting January 8th. The world's best male ski racers are racing in the United States in December. The Stiefel Birds of Prey hits Beaver Creek, Colorado, December 4th through 7th. Watch Olympic champions, World Cup winners, and your favorite Stiefel U.S. ski team athletes tackle one of the toughest courses on the planet. Racing for glory and the chance to secure their place in the 2026 Olympics. Don't miss the NBC and CNBC coverage, December 7th and 8th. Remember who taught you your ABCs? Who showed you kindness and sharing? That was Sesame Street. And today, Sesame Workshop is still helping children around the world grow smarter, stronger, and kinder.
But Elmo can't do it alone.
This holiday season, Sesame needs your support. Donate now at sesame.org/iHeart. That's SESAME.org/iHeart. Because the world needs Sesame, and Sesame needs you.
Elmo loves you. Thanks for making a difference.
Get your mother-loving ears on because your big-time radio DJ's got news. PayPal lets you choose how you want to pay for all the stuff. With PayPal, I can pay in-store, pay online, or pay over time. What's that? You want this translated into song? I hope you're sitting down. You can pay your own way. You keep those ears on, you hear? Don't just pay, baby. PayPal.
Learn more at paypal.com.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the weather first, before wearing face paint to the game.
Bro, your Go Cats is dripping into your nachos.
Oh, and now paint is in my eyes.
Interception! Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Wildlife today need a sanctuary from pressures caused by sprawling development. The harsh impact of habitat loss demands we act now to protect wildlife species large and small. Do you own land wild animals call home? Wouldn't you love to see preserved for wildlife forever? As the only national land conservation organization that prohibits commercial and recreational hunting and trapping on land it protects, the Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust can make your dream of a permanent safe haven for wildlife a reality. If you have land you want permanently protected or want to protect wildlife by saving land vital to their survival, contact the Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust at 1-800-729-SAVE. That's 1-800-729-SAVE, or visit wildlifelandtrust.org. The Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust, safeguarding wildlife and your dream for the future.
Enjoying a healthy dinner that tastes great means eating out at a pricey restaurant, right? Wrong. Healthy Choice Simply Steamers are delicious and healthy. The Tray and Tray steam technology delivers crisp veggies and tender protein in tasty selections, like Healthy Choice Simply Steamers grilled chicken and broccoli Alfredo. It's a satisfying meal with 28 grams of protein and nothing artificial. Healthy Choice Simply Steamers. What having it all tastes like.
Your holiday to-do list can be longer than Santa's. Between the shopping, the decorating, kids' concerts, and, oh yeah, keeping the magic alive. iHeartRadio is here to bring the joy to your busy days with commercial-free Christmas stations like iHeart Christmas. Or dozens of playlists so you can pick and match your holiday vibe. Open your free iHeart app and search Holiday to explore stations, playlists, and more.
San Diego Sports 760 KGB and KGB FM HD2 San Diego. An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human.
All right, so Taco Bell. We'll start with the Padres and the winter meetings. Padres, as the winter meetings are underway in Orlando, have made a move, signing right-handed pitcher Dyson Acosta to a one-year deal. San Diego State will be going to the New Mexico Bowl, where they will face number 25 North Texas on December 27th in Albuquerque. And the Aztecs will be looking for a new defensive coordinator, as Rob Orich has left the school to be the new DC at Nebraska. And this just coming down, according to Ian Rappaport, the Colts are planning to bring in, get this, Phillip Rivers for a visit tomorrow after Daniel Jones tore his Achilles yesterday against the Jaguars. It's actually Phillip's birthday today. He just turned 44. Taco Bell's Lux Cravings Box gives you decadent options. $5 gets you fan favorites. $7 gets you the fancy stuff. And $9 sends you on a journey of flavor exploration. Get yours. Participating stores for limited time. Prices and participation may vary. Drinks exclude freezes. Taxes extra.
It's Jon and Jim.
let's face it, in your particular field, you're the top minds.
Your favorite pair.
Interesting job you guys have.
Very smart and very modern.
They are Jon and Jim.
That's all you need to know about me.
The Scarlet and Black are headed back to New Mexico.
You want to be different?
Versus North Texas in the New Mexico Bowl. A wild NFL weekend.
Pitch to H.N. left side. Trying to get around the court. Cuts it back in. Touchdown, Dolphins.
Loving the shotgun, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, quick throw. Watson cutting left to the 10, to the house, to the touchdown.
And the college football playoff has everyone mad. Again. We'll talk about it all from the San Diego Sports 760 studios with Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of Jon and Jim. We do have Will Brinson swinging by in 30 minutes, senior NFL writer for CBS Sports. We'll hear from Sean Lewis this hour. We've Aztec basketball tickets to give away this hour as well. Before we get to the wrap, have a great dinner, buddy.
Bye, Jones.
Before we get to the wrap, Jones and Kristen are grabbing some food.
Where are they going?
Bye-bye, everybody, Jones says. They're going to there's an arcade downstairs.
Oh,
in
what?
the hotel. Free arcade. Yeah, free arcade.
Must be nice.
It's a
A free arcade is a 6-year-old's dream.
Dude, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Rampage.
Oh my gosh, that's the best games.
Rampage is incredible.
I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Rampage, you're killing everyone.
And Jones loves that right now, I'm guessing.
You're knocking everything down.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's got to go, right?
Yeah.
What else do they have down there? They've got
Mortal Kombat?
No Mortal Kombat. They got everything. Darts.
They have like the basketball shooting game.
No basketball. You wish you had that. You do wish you had that.
Any air hockey?
Skiing game, air hockey, skiing.
Okay. Any NBA Jam?
No, you're right. It's a free arcade, so it's hard to like.
But still, I mean, that's some good stuff for a free arcade.
I know some good options, so they're gonna get some food.
Where are you staying at? Like the Park City Marriott?
No, I'm not staying at the Park City Marriott.
Do they even have a Marriott there?
Yes, I'm sure they have a Marriott. Before we get to the wrap, okay, and we'll get back to the winter meetings. There's plenty to discuss. If you missed Danny Heilbrunn, you'll hear that in the 5 o'clock hour. Are you sure this is real?
Yeah.
This Phillip Rivers is going to, work out with the Colts this week because of the injury to Daniel Jones. How? Like, he turned 44. It's been 5 years since he's been in the NFL. Like, it can't be a good idea. Is that a good idea to bring in Phillip Rivers 5 years after last appearing in the NFL?
So it's just a workout. But yeah, Phillip Rivers is flying to Indiana to work out for the Colts tomorrow.
I mean, what does that mean to work out for the Colts?
Like, see if he can still throw a football. And
no, I know what it means, but are you serious? Like, I'm being dead serious right now. Is that a real option? You're telling me that there's no other option than a guy that hasn't played in 5 years and is 44?
It's either that or I think Riley Leonard is the quarterback. They have a daunting schedule to finish up their year. I'll give you $1 million if you can guess what their schedule is to finish up the season. You can't look. Don't look.
No, it's easy.
Leonard's hurt too, though.
They don't need a quarterback.
Why do we keep hearing stuff?
I have no idea. I'm guessing they're scheduled to finish. Hold on, I'm not looking. In Seattle.
You're
home
looking.
To the Niners.
You're looking.
Home to the Jags and at Texans.
You looked.
I looked.
But
you're telling me that Phillip Rivers, after not playing for 5 years and with 4 days of practice, can go 3-1 down the stretch?
Who do you have more faith in, Riley Leonard or Phillip Rivers?
I mean, I'd rather go with me
over you.
I'm just saying that's impossible. Why would Rivers even do that?
I don't know. Play in the NFL some more because he loves it.
Play in the NFL some more.
I don't know. It would reset his clock for the Hall of Fame, though, wouldn't it?
Is he going to come back every 5 years and never be eligible?
Well, if he went back and he got signed by the Colts, he's then ineligible for the Hall of Fame, which would be this year, right?
Well, I'm not going to not do it because I'm ineligible for the Hall of Fame.
No, I'm just pointing out a fact. Like, if Phillip were to come back, and sign with the Colts, then he's technically then not eligible anymore to make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, because he's active. Correct.
I mean, I know Phil doesn't care about that stuff, but it would be hilarious if the Colts signed a 44-year-old quarterback when they're 8-5 on the year, kind of clinging to life support just because they lost their quarterback to a torn Achilles, and they started the season 7-1. One of the best stories in the NFL. They've gone 1-4 since, and they finished up their year probably with the hardest remaining schedule of anybody in football.
So what we're saying is they're not going to make the postseason, right? Let's say they go 1-3, right, which is probably likely. Then the record is what, 9-8?
Yeah, 9-8.
Yeah, they're on the outside.
Well, right now they're on the outside because the Texans have leapfrogged them.
Yeah.
Because I think they have a head-to-head. And then, yeah, I mean, Baltimore's
they're done.
They're done. They're pretty much done is what, yes, you're right.
So I guess if I don't know.
Give me Phillip. Give me chaos. I want to see a 44-year-old who was coaching a high school football team go out there and try to sling it around.
I'd prefer to see his son.
His son's not eligible, John.
Because he's still in high school?
Yeah, because he's not like a pro. And Phillip Rivers, I don't know. They're just working him out.
Yeah. I mean, again, I would tend to think there's better scrap heap options than Phillip
really?
Rivers.
Like who?
I mean, anyone.
I'm not saying Phillip's like a great option. I'm just...
Yeah.
I just want to know like what other options.
Imagine someone that 5 years, dude. We talk about this in baseball. You don't play for like a year in baseball, and there's an adjustment. I mean, you could sit. Okay, I buy it. You could sit for a year, but 44 and you sat for 5 years. Like this is the equivalent of bringing back Colin Kaepernick and expecting him to lead you to something.
Yeah, but Phillip was actually good.
I mean, who's appeared in the Super Bowl?
Oh,
low blow. I mean, I don't know. The Colts they're done either way.
I like Mina Kimes has a good tweet. Phillip Rivers' oldest kid is almost the same age as Riley Leonard.
Is that right?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, well that's an interesting. I don't think he's going to play. If you were a betting person, do you think Phillip Rivers plays for the Colts this year?
I kind of do.
Do you?
I kind of do. I think the Colts are desperate. Phillip's going to come in there. Why would he go there if he knows he can't sling it a little bit? And
yeah, I'm sure he feels great. He hasn't played for 5 years.
Right. And I bet you they sign him. I bet you they sign him and he starts for them this coming week.
The dream scenario is they get in, and in that like 5-6 wild card game is like Chargers Colts.
And Phillip goes on to win a Super Bowl.
He throws like 481 against the Chargers.
Right. He's just 4 touchdowns.
He runs for 2.
Runs for 2. Well, the best thing is they have one of the best running backs in the league.
Of course they do. That's how they've got the 8 wins.
Who's their running back?
Jonathan Taylor.
There you go.
Yeah.
Look at you,
Do
Mr.
you know where
Football.
Indianapolis is, Jim?
It's in Indianapolis.
Yeah, exactly. What about, someone said in the chat, call Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck, he doesn't want to play football anymore.
That's the difference. Phillip Rivers is at his core, all he wants to do is play football.
Like if you ask Phillip, hey, would you want to play football for the rest of your life? If you could, would you play football until you're basically 6 feet under? He would tell you yes.
But is this the equivalent of like some of those boxing matches when guys are like 15 years out of their prime? Like, I don't need to see Mike Tyson anymore. I don't need to see Roy Jones.
How old was Brady when he retired? Like 44 to 43?
Yeah, but what is the difference, Jim?
I know Brady's better than Phillip. But
I mean, you can't compare the two.
But if he can throw the football a little bit,
yeah,
it would be hilarious because if he did sign with the Colts, they play the Niners on Monday Night Football in 2 weeks.
Right.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. If he led them to the postseason, that would be truly incredible. Like if they won 3 of their last 4 behind Phillip Rivers, that would be kind of storybook.
Now, Marty makes a good point on Twitter. She said, what happened to his one-day contract after retiring with the Chargers? Because he did sign a one-day contract with the Chargers and retired with the Chargers.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean you can't unretire.
I know you can unretire, but like that whole thing becomes like you got to do it over again.
Yeah, that's a good point. Guess what? We have new reporting on AJ Preller's extension talks that we will share with you on the other side. new reporting on A.J. Preller extension talks that we will share with you on the other side. Plus, Will Brinson will join us coming up at 4:30. Plus, this hour, your chance to win 2 free tickets to see the Aztecs take on Lamar at Viejas Arena on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Will A.J. Preller remain the Padres general manager beyond 2026? That's next on Jon and Jim.
San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Healthy Choice.
City Heights, 15 southbound right after University Avenue. 2-car crash there on the right shoulder. You're driving slow from the 8. Lemon Grove, good news. Earlier crash on the 125 northbound at Spring Street has been cleared.
For healthy, delicious food, you don't have to eat out. You can enjoy delicious meals from Healthy Choice, like their Simply Steamers grilled chicken and broccoli Alfredo at home. With tasty, tender chicken, crisp veggies, and 28 grams of protein, it's what having it all tastes like.
The one thing you never see coming is the worst day of your life. A crash, a fall, a siren, and in an instant, everything changes. Hey guys, it's Jim Russell, and that's Singleton Schreiber. Born and based right here in Mission Valley. This isn't some out-of-town law firm pretending to care. These are San Diegans fighting for San Diegans. They've built a reputation on fearless advocacy, taking on big corporations and standing up for regular people just like you and me. We're talking over $3 billion recovered in fire, injury, and consumer cases, including big wins right here in California. And the best part, they're available 24/7, offer free case evaluations, and you don't pay unless they win. When life knocks you down, you shouldn't fight alone. Call Singleton Schreiber right here in Mission Valley. No fees unless they win. 24/7 support for fearless hometown advocacy. Call 619-771-3473 today. Free consultations, 619-771-3473. Standing strong for San Diego. Attorney Advertising, Singleton Schreiber, 591 Camino del Arena, Suite 1025, San Diego, California, 92108.
Every Olympic dream starts with a first glide. Through Learn to Skate USA, kids build confidence, strength, and joy on the ice. Learn to Skate USA offers programs for skaters of all ages and abilities. Find a program near you at learntosskateusa.com.
10 athletes will face the toughest job interview in fitness that will push past physical and mental breaking points. You are the fittest of the fit. Only one of you will leave here with an iFit contract for $250,000.
This is when mindset comes in.
Someone will be eliminated.
Pressure is coming down.
This is Trainer Games.
Watch it on Prime Video starting January 8th. The world's best ski racers hit Beaver Creek for the Steeple Birds of Prey December 4th through 7th. Watch Olympic champions and your favorite Steeple U.S. ski team athletes race for glory in a 2026 Olympic spot. Catch NBC and CNBC coverage December 7th and 8th.
Offer not valid in all states or were prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Hey, honey, I thought we were going to stick with our resolutions.
I only had one donut.
Not that one. I'm talking about getting our bills under control. Our credit card bill came, and it's higher than last month.
How? We didn't charge anything.
Paying the minimum isn't enough. It will keep getting higher until we take control. We need to go to 45cash.com.
With our bad credit?
45cash.com is different. They're one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help any type of credit, even bad credit, get approved for up to $10,000 in minutes.
We could pay off our bills and have one payment that actually goes down over time. We need to go to 45cash.com.
Way ahead of you. I just went to 45cash.com and we got approved for $5,000. Best part, the money will be in our bank account tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast.
When you need cash help, go to 45cash.com. That's 45cash.com. 45cash.com.
No one celebrates the holidays like iHeartRadio, the #1 Christmas music app.
The most wonderful.
Hundreds of all Christmas stations like iHeart Christmas. Oh, yeah. And plenty of playlists too. Just open the app and search Holiday now.
He's Colin Cowherd.
Dallas has 2 first-round picks. It's a good offensive tackle draft. It's a good edge rusher draft. They need both. They can solve one massive concern, and getting an edge just gives their pass rush even more push.
Weekdays at 9.
This is not on Dak. When you're facing that kind of pass rush and you have to speed it up, you make more mistakes. I don't care if you're a typist, a pianist, or a quarterback. When you're playing faster than you're supposed to, it gets ugly.
San Diego Sports. 760. America's finest sports station.
All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Will Brinson will join us at 4:30. We can ask Will about the potential return of Phillip Rivers and what that would mean for the NFL.
Oh, he would
and
love
Colts.
that.
I know he will. He's an NC State guy, right?
He's an NC State guy.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
a Phillip guy. He's a former San Diego Charger guy. Like,
all right.
Like, Will probably sees this news and he's like, "Oh, I need to go talk to an emergency podcast." Like this is big time for Will Brinson.
Dude, I might do a wrap-up show on this. My Colts wrap-up show.
No, you won't.
Probably not. All right, Kevin AC reporting at this hour. Here's your Preller update, Jim.
Give it to me.
Padres chairman John Seidler said Monday that the expectation remains that Preller's contract will be extended. Here's the quote. AJ and I have been talking about an extension, and we're going to continue talking about it. AJ loves San Diego, and the Padres would like to have him remain long-term. He has been busy on other things that are more pressing. His contract does run through the 2026 season. Interesting. When I hear that, it's almost like, hey, we've got a contract in front of him. We want him here long-term. But he hasn't yet signed the EDOC.
That's exactly what it tells me.
Right?
I'm going to read between the lines. It's, hey, we want you to stay. Here's the contract that we'll offer you. AJ looks at it and goes, guys, this ain't good enough.
Right.
Like I don't want this. I want more, or I want something different. And there is a, what is it? Both parties aren't on the same page. That's what I kind of feel, is that the organization has offered maybe a contract and AJ has looked at it and said, yeah, I'm going to need this instead of this.
That's what I think, dude. When I hear that, that's a direct quote from John Seidler. This isn't now hearsay or
when he
someone
spoke,
else.
The man who doesn't speak because he's scared has spoken.
He said Monday. Now, I don't know if that was in Orlando, presumably, because Kevin is in Orlando. So presumably that's in Orlando. But listen to this quote again, Padres fans. AJ and I have been talking about an extension, and we're going to continue talking about it. AJ loves San Diego, and the Padres would like to have him remain long-term. He has been busy on other things that are more pressing. His contract does run through the 2026 season. I would say this, if I'm John Seidler, don't get played here, man. Don't think it's all good, not getting played, but like, oh, trust me, we're going to come to terms. He really likes San Diego. And then all of a sudden his contract is up and he's out. Like, you need to acquiesce, as in he's got the leverage, John, not you. If he's seeking better terms than you are offering, then you need to provide those terms. That's how professional sports work for the person that has the leverage. And it's AJ with the leverage, not John Seidler, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't even know John Seidler. No one knows John Seidler. So I don't know if he's a savvy businessman, if he's good with relationships, if he's good at closing deals. I don't know anything about the man, nor do any fans out there, nor does really anybody in the media besides probably Kevin. And even I'm sure Kevin knows very little about John, because he was handed a piece of paper as far as, here's the questions you can ask John. Like that's the extent of their relationship. So I don't know if he can close this deal with AJ. My guess is if you're going to try to negotiate with AJ, good luck. Like, AJ's going to try to get what he wants. Now, he doesn't have all the leverage in the world because he hasn't won a World Series. But he has built a roster the last 2 seasons that has won 90-plus games. And if you want to move away from Preller, are you going to find somebody that can, take a club with not a lot of resources now going into the future and work magic every offseason to try to build a winning baseball team? Like, good luck. I think you're right and I'm right on this, that they went to AJ, gave him this contract extension. AJ looked at it and goes, yeah, I don't know about this one, guys. And there's negotiations going on, because why? Like, what are the other reasons that it's taking so long other than that? Like, what are the other reasons?
Here's what I would say. And I think it's more likely than not that AJ Preller is probably extended beyond 2026. But I also don't have a lot of faith in the way the organization is currently being run. So I'm not 100% confident that this deal will be executed the way the organization wants it to be executed. Like I said, I feel like if you slow play this too much, he could be out the door. Like, he doesn't have to sign the deal. He loves San Diego. Well, guess who else loves San Diego? Everyone loves San Diego. You know what I mean? Like, so do every athlete that's ever played at San Diego State, or every professional player that ever played for the Chargers or the Padres. But guess what? Players move, whether it's NIL or free agency. So just because he loves San Diego, like, don't be naive enough to think that because he loves San Diego, he's going to be here for forever. I just think you're walking a fine line by getting to this point. I think he should have been extended long ago. I think he should have been extended after last year. And when he wasn't extended after last year, you've left it to this situation, Jim, where they're exploring a sale and you've got a baseball guy in charge that isn't a baseball guy in John Seidler. So I don't know. I have a level of concern. I'm not saying sound the alarms, Preller's leaving tomorrow, but I have a level of concern based on his future, or based on what John Seidler said today about his future.
And AJ's smart. Maybe he looked at the organization and the fact that, you got these brothers that are running the organization and trying to sell the team. And he's like, you know what? I'm looking around and there's not a lot of people here that have my back. And maybe I just play this out. Maybe I just play this out for 2026. And I know I can get a job.
Yeah,
like there's going to be more openings next year, right? Yeah, bet on yourself. Like, hey, I'll play this out. I'll try to win. I'll try to do everything I possibly can to win here in San Diego. But there's one or two things that have to happen. One, they have to basically give me what I'm looking for. Or, I don't know what else could happen other than that. Like, they just have to give him what he's looking for. And if they don't, then maybe he just does play it out. It'd be very weird, though, because you signed Craig Stammen to a 3-year deal.
Right. The Stammen is under contract right now, 2 years beyond. AJ Preller is under contract. And by the way, we've heard of, it's a formality. It'll get done. They're working on it. We've heard it for months, since October. It's now December. So they're working on it. Whoa. I mean, those terms that's a long time to work on something like this, I would say.
And by the way, this is not something that's difficult to do, guys. This is not it's not difficult. It's extremely easy. I do remember, if it was Dennis or Kevin wrote it, talking about AJ's future with the club. And I forget the wording, but it was essentially like, yeah, the organization will want AJ to do things a different way. Did you remember that?
Do it a different way. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who.
I forget the wording on it, but it was like change how he does his daily activities or something along the lines, like something along those lines of basically changing some of the things that he does on a daily, day in and day out basis. And I kind of read that and I was like, that's interesting. That's weird. And I think maybe again, this is all speculation. Maybe that's the holdup here is they're presenting him with a contract on, and the fine print says like, hey, our day-to-day operations, you're going to have to do this, 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 instead of doing what you've been doing. Right. And AJ's like, no, I'm doing what I want to do. And because it's worked. And I just need the reassurance that you're going to allow me to do that. Right. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. But there's some snag here. And I feel like it's from AJ's side, seeing what the Padres have offered as being not good enough.
Completely agree. 100%. And I'd be shocked if we were wrong on that. I would be shocked if that was inaccurate. All right, we'll switch gears. Will Brinson on Phillip Rivers, his potential return to the Colts. What? In 2025? Just incredible news, that possibility. So we'll catch up with Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBS Sports. We'll give away Aztec tickets coming up. Annie Heilbrunn, if you missed Annie on the winter meetings in the Padres, you'll hear from Annie coming up at 5:30. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
The season continues for Sean Lewis and the Aztecs. Saturday the 27th.
It's a postseason showdown in Albuquerque.
The Scarlet and Black look to end their season with a statement and get to double-digit wins, while North Texas wants to get past the sting of missing out on the college football playoff on your exclusive home of the Aztecs. San Diego Sports. 760. America's finest sports station.
Get ready to jingle all the way on Saturday, December 13th at 6 p.m. as the San Diego Gulls take on the Henderson Silver Knights. Start the holiday fun early at their Winter Wonderland tailgate beginning at 4 p.m., complete with $8 Light the Lamp lagers brewed by Mason Ale Works, hot cocoa, holiday music, games, and even a sled hill to slide into the spirit. Then head inside for the 10-year anniversary Trapper Hat giveaway for the first 8,000 fans and cheer on the Gulls in a night full of holiday magic. Grab your tickets now at sandiegogulls.com/winter.
Remember who taught you your ABCs? Who showed you kindness and sharing? That was Sesame Street. And today, Sesame Workshop is still helping children around the world grow smarter, stronger, and kinder.
But Elmo can't do it alone.
This holiday season, Sesame needs your support. Donate now at sesame.org/iHeart. That's SESAME.org/iHeart. Because the world needs Sesame, and Sesame needs you.
Elmo loves you. Thanks for making a difference.
This December, North County Cadillac GMC is putting power and purpose behind the wheel and behind something bigger. For every car sold, they'll donate $25 to Brady Children's Hospital, helping bring healing and hope to local kids. Visit North County Cadillac GMC. We are professional grade.
Carmelo Anthony here with Pick 6, the newest fantasy game from DraftKings. Think you know hoops? Now's your chance to prove it. Call more or less on your favorite NBA stars' stats, make your picks, and turn your hoops IQ into real payouts. The more right calls you make, the more cash you stack. Simple, fun, and all about basketball. Only on DraftKings Pick 6.
Now's your chance to prove your hoops IQ and turn it into real payouts with DraftKings Pick 6. New DraftKings customers start strong with $50 in Pick 6 credits when you make your first $5 entry. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code SD760. That's code SD760 in partnership with DraftKings Pick 6. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. Limited time offer.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bail Arm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bailarm.com today.
Don't wait until it's too late. If you think you have a water leak, contact Cable Pipe and Leak Detection. They have state-of-the-art equipment and will find your leak the first time. CPL Detection is the leader in locating water leaks and underground utilities and has been serving homeowners and businesses now for over 40 years. No job is too big or too small. Cable Pipe and Leak Detection does it all. Call Cable Pipe and Leak Detection today at 1-800-450-LEAK or go to cpldetection.com.
This Christmas season, visit your local Boot Barn store for top quality gifts that pay tribute to the lasting heritage of the West. From handcrafted cowboy boots and American-made felt hats to premium leather jackets, our in-store partners will help guide you as you shop, assisting with boot fitting and providing complimentary hat shaping. This Christmas, share a piece of the American spirit. Boot Barn. Unwrap the West.
San Diego Sports. Now.
All right, this update is brought to you by Taco Bell. Winter meetings are underway in Orlando. Padres have already made a massive splash. Signing right-hand pitcher Dyson Acosta to a one-year deal. San Diego State will be going to the New Mexico Bowl, where they will face number 25 North Texas on December 27th. And the Aztecs will also be looking for a new defensive coordinator, as Rob Orich has left the school to be the new DC at Nebraska. And news in from the NFL, the Indianapolis Colts are bringing in 44-year-old, his birthday is today, Phillip Rivers for a workout tomorrow, as Daniel Jones is out for the rest of the year with a torn Achilles, and Riley Leonard has a strained knee. Taco Bell's Lux Craving Box gives you decadent options. $5 gets you fan favorites, $7 gets you the fancy stuff, and $9 sends you on a journey of flavor exploration. Get yours at participating stores for a limited time. Prices on participation may vary. Drinks exclude freezes. Taxes extra.
The NFL Insider on San Diego Sports 760 is brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place.
All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Good timing to connect with Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBS Sports. This is right in your wheelhouse, Will. So Phillip Rivers is reportedly working out with the Colts. Phillip Rivers, who I think Adam Schefter just said he's a literal grandfather. He's working out for the Colts on Tuesday. Daniel Jones is out. Is this actually going to happen? Do you expect the Colts to sign Rivers?
This is crazy, guys. Phillip Rivers had his number retired by the Chargers this year. He is an actual grandfather. So I was at NC State when he played here. So I'm also 44. Not going to be signing with anybody to play football. He had kids in college, and so I think his oldest grandson is like 6 months younger than his youngest kid, which is wild. Wow. Like he could conceivably have a son throwing to a grandson at some point in the course of his life. But in the meantime, this news breaks. And I mean, there's an obvious San Diego connection. Shane Steichen was his quarterback's coach when he played for the Chargers for many years. He played for the Colts under Frank Reich, of course. And then, look, the case you could make is the Colts are 8-5. They are right there in the playoff hunt. They have a really good roster. Like, the defense has been a lot better than people thought it would be. Lou Anarumo's done a great job with them. Jonathan Taylor, all the MVP chatter early in the season. You have Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, Tyler Warren. There's a lot of pieces there, good offensive line. And if you're going to bring somebody off the street, like, don't get me wrong, 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, not as athletically gifted as somebody like who's a 25-year-old free agent out there, but he's gonna know/learn the playbook that much better. You're not going to tell him to come in and throw 40 times a game. You're going to hand off to Jonathan Taylor a lot, rip some slants, maybe take some play action shots, and Shane Steichen probably trust him not to turn the ball over. And again, they're 8-5. They're like in the playoff mix, and it's a playoff mix that might not feature Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Phillip Rivers, I'm speaking to the same crowd that knows, Phillip Rivers never won a Super Bowl. And I'm not saying he's going to come back and win one, but I think the idea of coming back to this roster, this team, this close to the playoffs with a coach he knows, some good weapons, is at least intriguing. And, it's been pointed out in all the reporting out there, he was a possible backup for the 49ers at one point to come back or backup plan to come back and help them in a playoff push. So this is something that he's bandied about. I don't think he's in like perfect game shape right now, but the guy's coaching football. He's a 44-year-old dad with 52 kids. Like, he's got to be in decent shape, right? He's a former athlete. So I think he's got more legs than maybe it's being given credit for. Everything changes perhaps this week if the Colts get absolutely smoked by the Seahawks, and it looks like, the final three games, which I think are against the Niners, Jaguars, and Texans. Everything changes if it's like suddenly the Colts' percent chance of making the playoffs becomes nil, or maybe it becomes more likely. Anthony Richardson, not ready to come back in. He still can't see. Doesn't have any vision from an orbital fracture he suffered. And then Riley Leonard, their third string, as it turned back up, is dealing with a knee injury as well. So, there's just a lot of reasons why it could actually make some insane sense to happen.
I think it was in 2023 when Purdy hurt his elbow. If the Niners made the Super Bowl, they were going to bring back Phillip to play in the Super Bowl for the Niners. That would have been just hilarious.
Hey, look, man, Phillip, the most Phillip, we were like top 10 in the country with him at one point at NC State, and we lost a couple. College football was back then. We would have been a college football playoff team. Ended up going to the Gator Bowl, and and then he's had to face off against Brady and then Mahomes, and I don't know. I think the idea of a kind of a wide open AFC playoff race, throw him in there, see what happens.
Oh, I'm absolutely here for it. The question that I have here, Will, what happens to his Hall of Fame timeline? Because does it reset? If he signs and he throws one pass, does it just reset? And then also his one-day contract with the Chargers where he retired as a Charger, they did this whole production thing. You gotta do that all over again. It's just what happens then?
Yeah. So I probably should know this. This has never happened before, where a guy who is an actual semifinalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame in his first year is talking about coming out of retirement. I would think if he comes back and plays, like if he signs a contract and then is on an active roster, I don't even know if he has to play. If he's on an active roster, I would think it reboots the Hall of Fame timeline. I'm sure they can make some, accommodations for that if they needed to. But I mean, quite frankly, like Eli, you got Eli, Ben, you had Breeze up in his first year too, right? Like, Phillips probably going to wait a couple of years anyway. Why not kick it back 5 years and try to win a title? So I think it would restart it, and then from a if he wanted to retire as a Charger, then yes, I believe he would also have to sign another one-day contract with the Chargers and run this whole thing back. Which, just the wildest scenario. The odds are probably like realistically of this happening. I don't know, like 70-30. It doesn't happen. Maybe 60-40. But I don't know, man. Philip Rivers he's the most normal dude on planet Earth, except for the wanting to have 10 children, and he's also like just this is what he lives for, like he just lives for football. So I wouldn't be that shocked if he ended up signing and then seeing what happened with the Colts over the next 2 weeks and maybe making a decision to try and be on the active roster.
A truly unbelievable story playing out right now in the NFL. Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBS Sports, with us on Jon and Jim. So as we know, Chiefs fall. They're 6-7. Looking ahead, not really in 2025, but beyond. Like I'm seeing some writing today, editorially, like columns. The dynasty is over. Is that fair to say or premature to say when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, I mean, I can't remember if we talked about this. I think it was like maybe last Monday, and they've lost again since then. But it's like it ain't over till they are eliminated, right?
True.
Like they need a lot to happen, but the teams they need to lose at least have the flaws that they could help them out, right? Where the Colts are trying to sign Philip Rivers. I mean, that's a bit of a red flag for your situation. You have the Texans are awesome on defense. And I think C.J. Stroud's look pretty good, but they can be gotten. If a good defensive team stops them. Chargers are playing tonight. Huge game for them against the Eagles. There's a lot that it's like an 8 to 10 team parlay. I think basically that has to happen, and 4 of those legs are the Chiefs winning out, of course. But the dynasty is dead articles that are being written, I think should probably be saved until the Chiefs are officially eliminated. Having said that, the last couple of weeks, because we talk about it every week, because it is the story in the NFL, and particularly last night, and particularly in the second half, it wasn't the banged up offensive line that let the Chiefs down, and it wasn't the defense that let the Chiefs down. The defense was awesome. The offensive line played really well considering who they were up against. It was kind of Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Travis Kelce. The big three of this dynasty. And I think that sort of speaks volumes to maybe where they're at. I've heard, it compared, I can't remember where I heard this, but sort of like, it does feel a little bit like the last days of Andy Reid in Philadelphia. And I mean, you can, kind of see that a little bit where it just felt like, you didn't have, I mean, you have Brady, you have Mahomes and you have Andy Reid, but maybe that's the difference between Belichick and Brady, where they'd gotten to a point where it looked like it was going to die and somehow found a way to reboot it and then got lucky. I don't count them out until it's over, but yeah, I mean, this does feel like something materially has changed with what the Chiefs have to do.
Tonight's a big game, Will. You got Eagles and Chargers. I feel like this is more important for the Eagles because if they lose again, third straight here, I feel like the city of Philadelphia is just going to burn down to the ground, even though they won the Super Bowl less than a year ago. Do you agree with that, or how do you view tonight's game?
I think it's bigger for the Chargers, but I agree. I agree that the Philly is going to freak out if they lose this game, especially as road favorites in prime time with Kevin Patullo, the offensive coordinator, just completely under fire. There's been questions about the offense all throughout the season. Saquon Barkley hasn't been as good. And, the Chargers at least could be like, look, Justin Herbert had surgery, 7 days ago. So that made it kind of tough to win. But, there's no Jalen Carter in this game, and there's no Lane Johnson. They're talking about Ole Miss too much. But the thing about Lane Johnson and Jalen Carter is that when there's no Jalen Carter in there, you can run on the Eagles. And the Chargers have been running the ball really well. They're getting Amari and Hampton back. And even dating back to multiple quarterbacks, whether it's Jalen Hurts or Carson Wentz, whoever it is, when Lane Johnson is out, the Eagles' offense is materially different. So, and materially worse, right? So I think it's not a chance for because the Chargers are home dogs. They got a banged up quarterback. They're, of course, missing their 2 tackles. They've been missing most of the year. But you get the Eagles without those 2 kind of key pieces on the lines, and I feel like Jim Harbaugh could find a way to pull this off. And if the Chargers win this one, it's really a shot in the arm, one for their playoff chances. Knowing Kansas City lost last night, knowing where they would be in the standings in the AFC, and then knowing that, all right, Justin Herbert can win this with fresh off surgery, maybe we have a chance. Because the AFC is wide. If the Chiefs don't make the playoffs, it is wide open. Josh Allen is incredible. The Bills are awesome. But if Mahomes in there, there's going to be a different aura and feeling about the AFC side of the bracket in terms of every single team that's in the postseason, whether it's Houston, whether it's Indy and Phillip Rivers, whether it's the Chargers and Justin Herbert, every single team believing they can make a run and win and make it to the Super Bowl out of that side of the bracket. By the way, what if?
I know.
Just hypothetically.
Yes.
I don't want to will this into existence, but Phillip Rivers on the Colts against the Chargers in the AFC title game, what would happen?
On it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it'd be incredible.
I got chills,
Dude.
Will. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Well, how about this, Will? We'll catch up with you next Monday after Phillip Rivers throws for 440 in Seattle this Sunday. 4 touchdowns, runs for
That's
2.
good, guys.
We'll appreciate it. We'll catch up next week.
All right, see you, boys.
This has been the NFL Insider on San Diego Sports 760.
It's all happening. Phillip Rivers.
And then the
NFL.
Colts play on Monday night the following week. So not next week, but the following week.
What if
on
he
Monday Night
ends the
Football.
Niners' chances of being the 1 seed?
I don't think the Niners do have a chance at the 1 seed, but I don't think they're getting the 1 seed, so it's fine.
You told me 48 hours ago they could have been the 1 seed. They didn't play this weekend. Now they can't be the 1 seed?
Well, they have to have another set of things have to happen next weekend, and that involves the Rams losing, Seahawks losing, Green Bay losing. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen.
You have little faith. All right, back to the winter meetings
exactly.
on the other side. We've got No, we don't have Padres tickets. Yeah, we have Padres tickets to give away.
We're not allowed to have Padres tickets.
We have Aztec basketball tickets to give away. We'll do that on the other side. San Diego State back home Wednesday night. We'll give away some tickets coming up on the other side. We're here until 6. It's Jon and Jim. Don't go anywhere. All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. If you missed Danny Heilbrunn, you'll hear our conversation coming up at 5:30. We also do want to remind you that you can join San Diego Sports 760, ESET, SeaWorld, Cable Pipe and Leak Detection, and Crowley Car Company to support Rady Children's Hospital this holiday season. Tomorrow and Wednesday, you'll hear stories of hope and healing from Rady Children's patients and families during the iHeart Rady Children's Give-a-thon. You can make a donation today by texting SPORTS to 34984. That's the word sports to 34984, or donate at radyfoundation.org/give-a-thon. All right, winter meetings, Jim, underway. There was additional reporting from Kevin Acee, who mentioned the fact that, John Seidler's confident in an A.J. Preller extension. We both will believe it when we see it. Then there's a quote from A.J. Preller himself, not on an extension, but on the addition of the reliever you've been talking about today, Dyson Acosta, or whatever his name is.
Dyson, tomato.
Okay, this is what Preller said about him to Kevin Acee. We think there's more in there and some things we can unlock. I'm not kidding.
Are you serious?
This is the actual quote. We think there's more in there and some things that we can unlock with our pitching group. We're excited to get him for sure. He was a top target on our minor league free agent market for us.
Okay.
So, by the way, officially, it's a minor league deal. It's a minor league deal.
Wow. Okay.
So, minor league deal. He had a 2.42 last year, Jim, in the minors.
It's great. I hope we never see him in the big leagues. Nothing against Dyson Acosta. Just if you see him in the big leagues, something went wrong. So I hope you never see him.
Yeah, especially with what we learned earlier in the day, and Kevin wrote about that, which is the Padres' preference is not to make Mason Miller a starter or David Morgan or Adrian Morejon.
Right.
So, like, when you start from that perspective that you've got 3+ relievers at the back end that, you're not touching, and then they've already added a piece in whatever his name is, Ty Adcock. They've always had a strength in their bullpen. I mean, as long as AJ Preller's been their general manager, their bullpens have been above average. So, yeah, I get your point. He's more of a depth piece. Like, you might not see him because, well, why would you see him if you have a good bullpen?
So let's just go over real quick. I'm guessing they're going to have 13 pitchers on the roster.
Right.
Okay. They're both 5 starters. Okay. 8 relievers. Here we go. Miller.
Good math.
Thank you. Miller, Morejon, Estrada, Adam, whenever he returns, and it sounds like he'll return relatively quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan, it's 5.
Yuki,
Peralta.
Yeah, there's 7.
Adcock.
Adcock's a possibility. What about like the Brian Hoeings of the world?
Brian Hoeing,
the Marinaccios of the world.
Marinaccio, don't call me Marinaccio.
Don't call me Bradley Rodriguez because my name is Bradley.
Correct.
So, I mean, there's 10 easy options. Yeah, and they haven't even gone through like the offseason.
Right. And then the rotation right now is Pavetta, Musgrove, JP Sears, Randy Vasquez,
Kyle Hart,
Matt
Waldron. You Darvish. Might not see him.
There you go. That's your rotation, and that's your bullpen.
I mean, the bullpen is beyond fine. What you
when
just said.
when Jason Adam returns, absolutely. And that's another thing too, is like if you have a surplus of pitching in your bullpen,
mm-hmm.
the thought process is if you need help elsewhere, you take a piece from your bullpen to help out other places on your roster. That's why the Jeremiah Estrada name came up today as far as like a piece that, could potentially get you back a decent haul when you have in the back end Miller, Morejon, Adam when he returns. Peralta had a really good year last year, right? We'll see what Adcock can do in the back end. Pause. And then you have whatever else you have, but that's an interesting name to keep an eye on.
Would you move Jason Adam, who's controllable for 2 years?
Would you move Jason Adam over? So you'd move Jason Adam over Jeremiah Estrada?
No, I'm asking the question. Would you move Jason Adam, 34 years old, controllable for 2 years? What is he making? Is a good question. I mean, He's making more than Estrada. He's making $5 million plus. He made 4.8 last year, so he'll make more than that. He's making $5 million plus. Would you move Jason Adam?
I wouldn't want to move Jason Adam, but if you're saying he makes $5 million plus, I might move Jason Adam.
Well, I also think the return could be reasonable. Now he's coming off injury, but he's a top flight reliever.
And the good thing, and not the good thing, but the thing is, he hurt something that's not, he didn't hurt his arm. He hurt his quad.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's at least an intriguing question. All right, we're going to get back to the winter meetings on the other side. If you missed any Heilbrunn, you'll hear that coming up at 5:30. Call right now if you want 2 free tickets to see the Aztecs take on Lamar in men's basketball Wednesday night at Viejas Arena. Great giveaway. 2 free tickets to see the Aztecs Wednesday night at Viejas Arena. Caller 5, you have those 2 free tickets. Call 877-767-4760. That's 877-767-4760. Caller 5, you are going. On the other side, the Padres are actively trying to trade Jay Cronenworth. They're listening on Nick Pivetta. We've got the latest for you to kick off hour 4 of Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760. That's next.
This update is brought to you by Taco Bell. Winter meetings are underway in Orlando. Padres made a move today, signing a right-handed pitcher, Dyson Acosta, to a 1-year deal. San Diego State will be going to the New Mexico Bowl, where they will face number 25 North Texas on December 27th. The Aztecs will be looking for a new defensive coordinator for the game, as Rob Orich has left the school to be the new DC at Nebraska. News just about an hour ago, according to Ian Rappaport, the Indianapolis Colts are going to be working out 44-year-old Phillip Rivers tomorrow as they're looking for a quarterback, as they lost their quarterback yesterday to a torn ACL. Taco Bell's Lux Cravings box gives you decadent options. $5 gets you fan favorites, $7 gets you the fancy stuff, and $9 sends you on a journey of flavor exploration. Daniel Jones, that's the name. Get yours at participating stores for limited time. Drinks exclude freezes, taxes extra.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour of John and the other guy that's been on the show. With you until 6 p.m. The Colts are going to bring in Phillip Rivers because they lost their quarterback. Yes, good reporting.
I was like, Daniel Jones.
Padres cleanup hitter hits 2 homers.
They're not bringing him in to play corner?
No,
it's just they lost their quarterback. That was
their quarterback. He didn't even tear his ACL. He tore his Achilles. I'm an idiot. Nobody cares. Who cares?
Yeah, but people care. People care, but nobody really cares. All right, so we're here until 6. Annie Heilbrunn coming up at 5:30. If you missed our conversation on everything going on with the Padres and the winter meetings, we started the show by talking about the Padres listing on Nick Pivetta, which definitely came out of, well, not left field, but like out of the rotation from Dennis Lin earlier today. That was not what I expected to be the reporting, but that was the reporting from Dennis Lin, that they are, again, they've been listing on Jay Cronenworth, and we've heard that over periods of time now this offseason, but now they're listing on Nick Pivetta. We don't know how serious it is, but it's a significant storyline. I think it's a headline, Jim. I'm kind of with you. I'm not expecting any movement with Pivetta this offseason, but maybe, just maybe, it's a possibility. It doesn't make any sense, truthfully, for me. So that's why I'm not losing any sleep over it.
Padres trade away pitcher.
Starting pitcher.
Padres trade away a starting pitcher. I'm not taking much from the report. Like, I'm not reading too much into it. The Jake Cronenworth side of the report definitely has me more intrigued, and I think is more of a possibility than them trading away Nick Pivetta. I really do. Nick Pivetta makes no sense. To trade him away would make no sense unless you use the prospects you got back for him to flip that into a proven major league starter. And we've seen Preller do that with the Juan Soto deal, right? He took a player in that deal and flipped him for Dylan Cease. That was Drew Thorpe. So we've seen him do that, but Nick Pivetta is not Juan Soto. You're not going to get back the return that you got back for Juan Soto. This is not happening. So to actually go down a path of trading away Nick Pivetta makes 0 sense to me. Getting down a path, trading away Jake Cronenworth, I understand it. And it makes more sense if you're having to move money around, like I guess it's being reported that they have to, or looking to do that. So Jake makes the most sense here.
Completely. I mean, Cronenworth, we've heard now for the better part of a year that he's somewhat coveted. Therefore, you're getting a return. And then secondly, you're getting the money. So when you free up money and you get the return, that to me is a bit of a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
And do we like Jay Cronenworth? Yes. I mean, I think he's a fan favorite. I think he's been a beyond serviceable player. But when you start taking the dive into his performances, it hasn't been overly compelling for 3 years. I mean, 2023, 2024, 2025 is a bunch of okay years. He had an amazing moment in the 2022 postseason. Incredible. But that's not a reason to keep him long term, especially if you can improve your roster by moving on from him. I think Jay Cronenworth doesn't play for the Padres again. I think Cronenworth moves.
Oh.
And I think there's a lot of reasons to believe that he will move. And that gives you the most payroll flexibility, maybe the best return, truthfully. So I'm not saying he moves this week, Jim, but I think Jay Cronenworth will move because I just think this makes sense, where I don't think Nick Pivetta will move because I just don't think it makes sense.
Now, you move Jay Cronenworth. On the flip side, or on the other side, excuse me, you got to then replace Jay Cronenworth.
Yep.
So, I've claimed that you can go out and find a version of Jake for half the price, way cheaper, right? Could you sign a Ryan O'Hearn to like a 3-year, $30 million deal, have him be your first baseman, and then, I don't know, I mean, I don't know who you could find. Like this team has found Donovan Solano and Jose Iglesias to play in the infield, right?
Sure.
Can they go find some of those type of players to come in and play there? Or are you going to go like the Mason McCoy route, right? So if you do trade away Jake, you have to replace him. And so they have to have a plan on the other side of this. I think if they re-sign a Ryan O'Hearn, I would like that. And I think it would be good for the Padres. And then you got to worry about second base. You can find, like I said, a Jose Iglesias type, a Donovan Solano type to play second for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point because I thought I was going to look at his numbers and I thought they would tell me the numbers are actually worse. Like his OPS plus last year was 108. Like he was a better than average major league hitter. But again, it's like the 11 home runs and the 377 slug. I just feel like that's replaceable. Maybe that's not right. And maybe it's not replaceable. Maybe on the other side is a worse version of that player. But I could still make the argument to move him. A worse version of Jay Cronenworth freeing up $10 to $12 million a year and getting a return that addresses needs might be worth going from the 740 OPS Cronenworth to the 715 player on the other side because of the money you get back and because of the needs that you potentially address. So to me, it's very compelling to consider a trade of Jay Cronenworth. I think the Nick Pivetta thing is just, I can't be sold on how that makes me better in 2026. And now I said the same thing with Juan Soto. So maybe I'd be proven wrong again. And I think, is it a PR loss if you traded Cronenworth? I think he's likable. I think he's a fan favorite, but that's not a reason not to move a player. Like if it makes your team
can't move
better,
him. No, stop.
Yeah, and if it makes your team better, I think you move him. So I think I don't know. Like I saw someone in the chat, but like Cronenworth has expressed his desire to finish his career in San Diego. Well, yeah, everyone would in that scenario, but you got to do what's best for the organization. And then the other question we talked about earlier, like the Jason Adam, Jeremiah Estrada thing, like, are you loading up in the back of your bullpen or in your bullpen because maybe that gives you a little bit of wiggle room with some of your high leverage guys?
And you also have to remember too, you're going to need to find a lot of versatility in that infield, because if we learned anything from last year, and if this organization has any balls, they'll make sure that Manny doesn't play every day.
Right.
Like if they're going to be serious about keeping Manny in the best shape and, energized throughout the season, he ain't playing 158 games next year. Okay. He's playing like 145 to 150. All right. And a lot of those might be as a DH as well, because his defense is regressing and he's just become a player. It started last year. You saw it. He gets tired. And when he gets tired, he's awful. So you have to keep him fresh, and you got to make sure that he's not playing every single day in the field, because what happened at the end of last year can't happen again with Manny Machado. So you need to find versatility in that infield. And if you trade away Jake, you lose part of that versatility. Not saying you can't replace it. You can. It's just, it just makes things a little more difficult. And they put themselves in this position. They have no one to blame but themselves.
Really good points. Where we've given Preller credit is also where you could argue there's some blame in there. They've tied up a lot of money in a very few number of players. And players that haven't exactly jumped off the page production-wise offensively.
Bogarts.
You've gotten good. There's been some good years in there. Who'd you say?
I said Bogarts.
I mean, Bogarts is a terrible deal. I mean, that's not even worth discussing.
Disaster.
But I'm talking about like Tatis. There's been good in there, but there hasn't been everything you had hoped. Machado, right. There's been good in there. Has it been everything that you would have hoped? I don't think
he's been consistent.
Everything. He's been solid. But Cronenworth, has it been everything that you had hoped? Again, he's been solid. So, like, again, where Preller gets credit, some of him also gets blame, I feel like, because you got 6 or 7 guys making most of the payroll, and then you try to fill out the rest of the roster, which is like 18 or 20 players, and it becomes very challenging because you've tied yourself up. So, I mean, you got to be fair with that. Like, Preller is, I guess, accountable or responsible for some of that.
It just goes back to the same philosophy that this organization had going into last season, which was stars have to be stars. Their big-time contract players, Manny, Xander, Jackson, Fernando, Joe, Pavetta, if Jake's still on the team, those guys have to perform and produce. Because if they don't, it's going to look a lot like last year. And to last year's team's credit, they won 90 games still. They won 90 games. Yeah, they won 90 games. And they had down years from Jackson Merrill and Fernando Tatis Jr. offensively, and Xander Bogarts, like always. You had down years from Jake, and then Manny didn't really, he had started out hot, but he cooled off in a really bad way in the second half. And they still got to 90 wins. But still, I think they had a more complete roster than they have going into this season. It's obviously not even close to over the offseason, but still, the philosophy, I think, is going to remain the same. And it's a tricky one because these guys haven't proven it as a core collectively. Hey, you guys all need to produce and up to your contract.
Yeah, I mean, they do, but will they? Right? They do, but will they? And that's the issue. And it has been the issue. It honestly has been the issue now for the last 3+ years, ever since they signed Xander Bogarts. All right, I do want to switch gears. We're going to hear from Sean Lewis on the other side. They're going to have a defensive coordinator change in 2026. They're also prepping for their bowl game against the top scoring offense in the country in North Texas. He spoke with the media earlier today. We'll hear from Sean Lewis. We have Aztec tickets to give away. We'll do that on the other side, Wednesday night at Viejas against Lamar. We'll do that in the next 10 minutes or so, and you're going to hear from Manny Heilbrunn coming up at 5:30. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Andy Heilbrunn coming up at 5:30 in about 10 minutes or so. Plus, we're giving away a final pair of Aztec tickets for Wednesday. That's against Lamar at Viejas Arena. Tickets at goaztecs.com. Pre-game coverage at 6. I'll have the call for you at 7 right here on your home of the Aztec, San Diego Sports 760. We'll give away those tickets coming up in 10 minutes. We haven't really touched on the Aztecs today. Jim has in the updates, look at North Texas in this top offense against top defense meeting in the New Mexico Bowl coming up on December 27th. By the way, I was just refreshing yesterday because I was trying to avoid two things. To be honest. You want to guess what I was hoping to avoid?
No, what is it?
I didn't want a basketball conflict.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. I know you're saying. Yeah. I didn't.
So I was trying to avoid a conflict. And I also didn't want to travel on Christmas Day. Like that would have been just a nightmare. I would have fought. Kristen would have filed for divorce.
I would have filed for divorce.
Yeah, you would have filed for divorce. So I
got the 27th is like a good day.
I got both. Yeah, I'll travel the afternoon of the 26th. It's not far travel, which I like. The game is during the day on the 27th, which I love. It's like 2:45 Pacific.
Oh, you'll be home that night.
Yeah, and it's a good opponent. Honestly, I'm looking forward to the game. Now, do I love it being in Albuquerque? We were just there. No, but I think it's a good opponent. So, and it's on ESPN, which I think is just good in general for Aztec fans because you can watch it nationally. And I think it's a good game. So I kind of got what I was hoping for. I didn't necessarily want to go to Boise. There would have been a conflict with that. It's cold as cold. So is Albuquerque.
It's very cold.
So anyway, that's what I was hoping for. You think they took that into account? They're like, oh, John Schaefer doesn't want a basketball conflict?
Yeah, I think they're like, hey guys, we need to make sure this is not on a day when there's a Aztec basketball game, and we need to make sure that he's not traveling on Christmas. So anything after that, we're good to go.
And I want to say there was a game that New Mexico got into, I think the Rate Bowl or whatever it is in Phoenix. But that's the 26th, I think. And I didn't want to travel. I would have had to travel the 25th. And I didn't want to travel the 25th. So I was kind of cool with not being in that game. Is that
I'm trying
right?
To hold on here.
Because they played Minnesota. It's a good game.
What day is it?
I thought it was the 26th, the Lobos game against Minnesota. But I'm not positive.
Yeah, the Rate Bowl.
The Rate Bowl, whatever that means.
New Mexico against Minnesota, Friday the 26th.
Yeah, I mean, Friday the 26th is tough because, and it's in the middle of the afternoon, so you have to travel on Christmas Day, which, no thanks.
Also, the Frisco Bowl.
Yeah, when's that?
Was on the 23rd. I think there's an Aztec basketball game on the 22nd. So you'd be fine there, but still.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with it. In the end, I'm looking forward to the matchup. Here was Sean Lewis earlier today. This is about 2 minutes of Sean Lewis talking about the matchup against North Texas, also about replacing his defensive coordinator in Rob Orich.
Obviously, exciting day for the Aztecs. Excited about the opportunity that we have to head to New Mexico and to play a really good North Texas team. Obviously, number one total offense, number one passer in the country, and you know, a great matchup of strengths with our defense, their offense, and excited about the opportunity that Albuquerque presents for us to go get our 10th win. Boys are great and excited about the opportunity. It'll be awesome to get back out on the grass and get back to work. Obviously, we took some time off with the way that the season ended, playing 6 in a row. The work week that we had leading into that, I thought was important for our guys to just level set and you know, get away from the game a little bit, as we talked about a week ago. And now it'd be great to get back out on the grass and to get back to the business of ball and to do that work together. Obviously, there was some movement on our staff in the past 24 hours. You know, very thankful for the work that Rob has done for the past 2 years, and you know, the commitment of him and his family to our program. We're in a better place because of the work that he did. There was a good opportunity that he felt was best for him and his family. So wish him the best with that as we move forward. Obviously, you know, there's work to be done, and very excited to announce that Demetrius Sumler is going to be our interim defensive coordinator as we go forward and lead us in this bowl opportunity for us to go get our 10th win, and you know, we'll continue to proceed forward. But again, our program's in a great place. The connection and brotherhood in that locker room is what drives us, and the connection amongst the players. There's a excitement and to go play and to know who this next opponent is. The guys were excited about Coach Sumler, you know, taking the reins and leading. So excited to see the work that he does. Excited to see the way that our team responds. But that's one thing about this club and about the culture that we've built. It's built for moments like this, right? We talked to the guys about moments moments of adversity, moments of change. Those are things that are going to be constant in their lives, and those things that we have felt through this year. And our guys have responded at a really high level, and I know that we'll do that again. And looking forward to, again, getting back out on the grass tomorrow, having the work in front of us to go do that at a really high level, and then traveling. I believe we'll be traveling on Christmas Eve down to Albuquerque for the opportunity here in 19 days to continue to have this time with these guys and go get our 10th win, which would be the 10th team in SDSU history since we went to the FBS level to have double-digit wins. So lots to look forward to. Great time to be an Aztec, great time to be on the Mesa, and really proud of where we're at and where we're going.
All right, so playing for 10 wins, which, again, it does feel a little different, like 10-3, 9-4. Again,
Right.
These bowl games, they've changed over the years. If you've been watching this with the opt-outs and everything that's transpiring.
It's ridiculous. It's
in
ridiculous.
college football. But you got a chance for 10 wins, and to like Sean's earlier point, like I don't think it's going to be easy against a team that averages 45 points a game.
Yeah. If Chris Johnson, Trey White, Owen Chambliss, if other players don't participate in the game and you see some guys enter the transfer portal or you already lost Rob Orich to Nebraska, right? Who's replacing him for that game?
They say Demetrius Sumler, who's
That's
been
right,
on
yeah.
staff for a good amount of time. So a good opportunity, I would say, but a tough one to take on North Texas.
I'm a little worried that, some guys on defense might follow Rob to Nebraska, or at least want to
Always
follow him
possible.
to Nebraska.
Yeah.
It's possible. And if that happens, like if there's a good amount of starters missing from this game because either, they don't want to play because they don't want to get hurt for their draft stock, right? And I totally get it. I would totally understand if Chris Johnson, who could be a first or second round pick, by the way, decides not to play in the game, right? I would get it. Same thing with Trey White. Same thing with other players on this team, right? I would get it. But it would be a massive bummer because then the game truly, to me, wouldn't mean anything. I mean, it already doesn't mean much, but if you have some of your key players not playing and opting out, or have some guys entering the transfer portal early, like, I get it. Sean Lewis has got to go out and work with what he's got, and it's an opportunity for some younger players to step up and get ready, for next year and have an opportunity to show themselves what they can be for next year's team. But even if they, if they lost the game, it just wouldn't matter. It would just be a bummer. That's all.
No, it makes sense, everything that you're saying. And by the way, I don't know if North Texas is going to have its whole team. Their coach took a job at Oklahoma State. I think he's returning to coach in this game, but will their players, some of their stars on offense, be available for North Texas or not? I don't know. I think on paper it's a good matchup. This is a really good offense against a really good defense, but we'll see what it looks like come December 27th, the game you can hear right here on San Diego Sports 760. Call right now if you want 2 free tickets to see the Aztecs men's basketball team Wednesday night at Viejas Arena against Lamar. We have 2 free tickets to see the Aztecs against Lamar for caller 3 to 877-767-4760. Caller 3, you've got 2 free tickets to see the Aztecs take on Lamar Wednesday night at 7 p.m. A game you can hear right here on San Diego Sports 760. Tickets at goaztecs.com. 877-767-4760. We get back to the winter meetings with Annie Heilbrunn on the other side. What does she make of the Padres listening, at least, on Nick Pavetta? That is next on Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by Taco Bell. Winter meetings underway in Orlando. Padres made a move today. They signed right-hander Dyson Acosta to a 1-year deal. We just talked about it. San Diego State will be going to the New Mexico Bowl, where they will face number 25 North Texas on December 27th. Aztecs will be looking for a new defensive coordinator as Rob Orich has left the school to be the new DC at Nebraska. And Monday Night Football is underway up in L.A. Chargers have an early 7-0 lead over the Eagles. 8:49 left in the first quarter at SoFi. Taco Bell's Lux Cravings Box gives you decadent options. $5 gets you fan favorites. $7 gets you the fancy stuff, and $9 sends you on a journey of flavor exploration. Get yours at participating stores for a limited time. Prices and participation may vary. Drinks exclude freezes, taxes extra.
All right, Jim's back page coming up. Kevin Acey, by the way, our Padres insider, will join us at some point tomorrow. It is also the iHeartRadio Children's Give-a-thon. Looking forward to that over the next couple of days. So busy couple of days coming up. And, of course, Kevin, again, will join us, our Padres insider, tomorrow from Orlando. But if you missed Annie Heilbrunn from the UT earlier today, great conversation. We started it by asking Annie if she's surprised the Padres are listening on Nick Pivetta.
I think just surprised to see it put pen to paper, and I understand where the reports are coming from in because of what you just said. Because AJ Preller calls and listens on everyone, it is factually correct that he's listening to anything that might come up about Nick Pivetta, just like he was listening to Dylan Cease last year, just like he was listening to this person and that person. So I do think that I guess the only thing that I would say is, like, I guess you can't completely rule it out just because we don't really know their situation in terms of what might be changing with the sale of the team and with where they are with constraints with their payroll already. But it just seems unlikely, and even Dennis had this in his article, right, that it just seems unlikely that you would lose your ace, the ace of your staff, when your rotation is already incredibly thin. So while it's not impossible to see it happening, and while you can see a world where it does happen, I would be surprised to see it actually happen, unless they were getting something back that you just, like, an offer you just could not refuse.
It's funny. We were talking about this last segment here, Annie. Like, we've talked about the pitching staff and the rotation almost every day when we talk Padres in the offseason, yet the biggest issues with this team at the end of the year, the last 2 seasons, has been the offense. And now, looking at assets that they do have, one asset that they have that's potentially pretty movable is Jake Cronenworth. You know, trading Jake away for potential assets to fill in your rotation kind of seems like that is the only likely option of the players they have on this major league roster that's making money that they can move to potentially get some more assets. But that doesn't, fix any problems with their offense. It just kind of maybe fills a hole on the side over here while the dam is still leaking over here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I look at that, and it's kind of the same thing as if Pavetta was leaving, although Pavetta would be such a bigger hole in the sense of the rotation being so thin. But it's like you're in a boat and your boat's taking on water and you're going to plug the hole, but your boat's still sinking, right? Like now you have something, all the pressure, you've got something else going on now in the back of the boat, and everything's still kind of sinking. So not that the Padres are sinking, but just right. That you're kind of, they do have some difficult decisions this year, it seems like, and we all use the term creative. Oh, AJ Preller's just got to be creative. Well, creative for the last year or two means very difficult, right? Like, because they just don't have an open checkbook. So he's got to be creative. I think that you do have some hard decisions where it's like, okay, you don't want necessarily to see Jake Cronenworth go, and you do need to work on the hitting part of it and get guys back to being who you sign them to these long contracts to be. I think that's where the Padres will tend to come from. I think if you listen to their language, it's like, yeah, we need bats, but we need the guys that we already have on our roster to be who we sign them to these long contracts for, to get back to being themselves, to get back to being the hitters that we know they can be. Whether or not they can do that, none of us really know, right? But that's kind of where they're going from. And financially, that kind of makes sense as well. But for Jake Cronenworth, it's an interesting one because he is on the other side of 30. I think he's 31. And he's definitely serviceable, and he's a good player, and his contract does not, it's not going to completely break a team if they take on that contract. but it's not necessarily like the cheapest contract either. It's just like it's like their only doable contract, their only kind of realistic contract, you know. So you've got to have a team that I think that would be able to take that on, knowing that the back years for Jake Cronenworth probably are not going to be that great, just like they're probably not going to be guaranteed for a lot of these other players. But you know that's a position of need, I guess, for the team that would be wanting him. So some difficult decisions that would happen there, and I tend to wonder if they actually will make that kind of a trade, because they do really love Jake Cronenworth a lot. But that's the kind of difficult or creative decision that AJ Preller is going to have to deal with this offseason.
Yeah, completely agree. Annie Heilbrunn from the UT with us right now on Jon and Jim. We also learned today it appears as if they won't convert relievers to starters, whether it's a Mason Miller, Adrian Morahone, a David Morgan. Do you agree that that would be a smart decision? Yes, they have holes to fill in the rotation, but maybe it's wishful or stretching, or you can get someone hurt if you try to stretch these guys out in 2026.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. I think that if you take them from the bullpen to the rotation and it's not a slam dunk, now you've just created problems in your bullpen and now you have problems in your rotation. None of it is guaranteed. Like, it's always going to be a risk. And I'm not saying that you never take the risk. I mean, we've seen it happen with Michael King, with Seth Lugo. Like, there are guys, but those guys were just, I mean, aching, dying to be back in the rotation. I mean, Seth Lugo, it was all he could talk about and think about. And he hated that, I think it was the Mets, that they wouldn't allow him to develop more pitches and use his brain more. And, you know, he really wanted to be back in the rotation. And I don't know. I don't think Adrian Morahone is like that at all. I think he is very understanding of where his body is and that his body is better off in the bullpen for his health. I'm not sure about Mason. It could be something that Mason wants to get back to at some point. And it could be something that they revisit down the road, even because he's under contract for so long. I think it's through 29 or 30 with the Padres. Like, he could become a starter in later years if that's the case. But at this point, I think with this kind of lead up, you're definitely it's a risk that I don't know if you can afford to take with those guys. And then David Morgan, you know, he was a shortstop turned pitcher. He became a pitcher in the big leagues, and not to say that he can't do it either, but I think it's what you just said. You've got this strength now in the bullpen. It's a risk because you don't really know how they're going to be in the rotation, and so let's just keep the bullpen a strength, and we'll worry about the rotation. But they do have definite holes to fill, and I don't think that Adcock or who's the other guy,
Dyson something Acosta.
Dyson. Okay, I think that my understanding is kind of reading into it is those are kind of guys, they have the roster space. They're able to put them on the roster. They're guys that they can compete. They have options. So, like, think about Sean Reynolds. He is someone that the Padres let go this offseason, but he had no options left. But a guy like Dyson has options. He can go up and down if they need him to. So I don't think that those are like their major signings. I don't know that for sure, but that's going to be my guess here, is that they've got other stuff in mind. But these are guys that are kind of filling that need right now, of like a Sean Reynolds or like a guy that can maybe go back and forth a little bit.
So are you still wondering when or if we're going to get resolution on AJ's future with the team?
Yes. I wonder what's going to happen when that happens. Like, what will Jon and Jim be like on that day? You know,
Probably won't even exist anymore because it's probably taken forever.
I do wonder. It is a very fair question. You know, what is the holdup, right? But I do, from what I've heard from AJ's people, okay, this does not come from Preller himself, so I don't know for sure, but is that, you know, he's not worried about it. Like, he's got another year left and he wanted to get Stammen figured out, and now he wants to get the roster figured out and whatever. But at the same time, it is weird. Like, you got to wonder too, does the sale were they trying to get through the announcement of the sale and figure out what's going on with the sale before getting to that? My gut feeling on it was that they're going to try to, set people up before the sale happens. So meaning, like, let's give people good contracts, long-term contracts, make them, kind of a pat on the back before the sale happens, in that sense of like, it's going to make it harder for the next person to like let them go, which is like I don't know how to say it, but like just like I said, like a pat on the back, like a taking care of your boy kind of thing, But at the same time, do they have the money to do that? Do they, not that AJ is going to break the bank, but I don't know how much they're looking at the machinations of the finances and how much they want them to, look a certain way to try to get that sale to be pushed through and whatnot. So I feel like it's still going to happen before spring training or in spring training, like before the season starts. But it is an odd thing that they haven't just figured it out to this point.
Yeah, it's like the more you think about it, the more you're like, well, is it it doesn't make any sense. I honestly, I can't fully get my arms around it, but again, that's not necessarily my job. Annie, appreciate you taking time for us. Happy holidays to you, and look forward to doing it again soon.
Thanks, Annie.
Absolutely, guys. Anytime. And
right,
maybe
great.
by the next time he'll have a contract, but I don't think so. But maybe by the next time.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. If you
But I
join
don't
us,
think
in
so.
like, yeah, if you join us in like
All right, take care, guys.
All right, great stuff with our dear friend Annie Heilbrunn from the Union Tribune. All right, Jim, we are, believe it or not, it's we've been doing a 4-hour show for about 3 hours and 42 minutes.
Exactly. And we have about 18 minutes and 30 seconds left of a
Yeah.
4-hour show.
Yeah, roughly. So, again, tomorrow, back with you, 2 p.m. Kevin will be on the show. Kevin Acey, our Padres insider, will join us at some point tomorrow. We do have the iHeartRadio Children's Give-a-thon on Tuesday and Wednesday. Looking forward to those shows for you as well. But, again, here until 6 p.m. On the other side, we will get to Jim's back page. So stay with us, Jon and Jim. San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, final time. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Got
Oh,
Jonesy
look who it
in here.
is. It's
Hi.
Jones. Hi, Jones. If you're watching on YouTube, Jones is back from the arcade.
Yeah, he's been all over the. So let's see. Jones today. Here's the back page for Jones. So I'm in Park City. He had s'mores. Okay.
Wow.
He went to an outdoor pool, even though it's 35 degrees out because the pool is 90.
That's awesome. I saw he's playing with his cars out there.
It's like he played with some cars outside. What did we do earlier? We did tubing. Remember tubing?
Yeah.
Tubing was awesome. It was tubular, right? Yeah. And what else have we done, Chris? Oh, she did ski school.
Oh, wow.
I mean, geez.
You packed a lot into one day.
Well, I've been telling him, do you know where the Olympics are in 2034, Jim?
I could not tell you that, John.
They're in Salt Lake City.
Oh,
and
perfect.
Park City.
So Jones could be in the Olympics in 2034.
Correct.
Nice.
Look at this, by the way. He's look at this, Jim.
Oh, perfect. He can hear now. Hi, Jones.
All right. So we are do you like this, Jonesy? Is this the highlight of the trip? Being on the radio? All right.
It's definitely the highlight of his day because now he gets to ham it up. Perfect.
Ham it up.
Ham it up.
It's like John's at a post-game press conference. Remember, like Chris Paul would always have his kid on his lap.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like Sean Lewis post game.
Exactly.
My job is fuzzy. With that, let's get to this.
Your job is fuzzy. You know what you guys should do? You should find the nearest crumble cookie and get Jones some cookies.
He loves crumble cookie. Look at that excitement.
I know. He's excited. So I got the crumble cookies of the week here, Jones. Tell me if you like them. Okay. So first up, we have a cookies and cream cocoa mousse cup.
Can I turn this mic on, you think, Jim? Is that cool?
Sure. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
You just can't cuss.
Do you hear yourself, buddy?
Yeah.
Perfect. We have a turtle cheesecake.
Do you want turtle cheesecake?
Yummy turtle cheesecake.
We have a holiday M&M's cookie. We have a s'mores brownie cookie this week.
Ooh.
A s'mores brownie cookie. A molten lava cake cookie.
Yummy.
And then a holiday birthday cake cookie.
That sounds good, right?
Jones, you should tell your mom and dad to take you to Crumble Cookie tonight, get you crumble cookies.
Yeah, I don't know about that after.
Mommy, give me a crumble cookie.
There we go. Perfect.
Please.
He'll be up all night.
Please, as Brent said.
So those are the crumble cookies of the week. All right. So, John, if I told you, do you know what a caboodle is? What would you say?
A caboodle. Have you ever heard of a caboodle, John? No,
it's the last car on a train.
No, it's a Pokemon.
Oh, caboose.
It's a Pokemon.
That's easy. How would you not know that?
Exactly. How would you not know that? There is somebody out there who has decided that his goal
is it?
Collect every single first edition Kabuto cards of Pokemon ever. And it's like the worst card. You could get it for like $1.
Wait, what's the worst card?
The Kabuto card in Pokemon.
The Kabuto
What is
card.
that?
So he calls himself the Kabuto King. And for charity, recently, he signed a Kabuto card, drew a little crown on the Kabuto, and he put up for auction. And it sold. Now, this helped St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So all the proceeds went to St. Jude's Children's Hospital by selling this card. He sold it for $51,000.
What the what?
Wow.
What the what? And so all that money goes to St. Jude's Children's Hospital, all because this Kabuto guy who loves to collect first edition Kabuto cards signed it. And Logan Paul, we all know Logan Paul, he tried to buy this card recently, and he got outbid by $100.
Why do you work for sports and you like Pokemon more than sports cards?
Oh,
now you sound like the YouTube chat.
Wow.
Wow, strong words.
Coming in hot there, Jones. I like sports cards.
He likes sports cards, I was going to say, too.
I like
Remember
sports cards.
I just the West Coast Card Show with us?
Oh, yeah. That was 2,000 years ago.
It was. And we were in traffic like forever.
Oh, yeah, for 10 minutes.
Exactly, yeah.
What else do you have, Jim, on the back page?
And finally, Will Ferrell, who played Elf, his costume. Remember, Elf Jones, the movie?
Remember Elf? Yeah.
Elf? So his costume that Will Ferrell wore in Elf, Buddy the Elf, sold at an auction for $319,000.
That costume sold for $300,000, the one that he actually wore in the movie. These people love the movie so much.
He wore multiple costumes for the movie in 2003. One of them sold for $270,000. This one sold for $319,000. So that's a pretty big number for an elf costume.
It's a very big number for an elf costume.
Yes, very big number.
Let me try to move this real quick, Chris.
I don't know what
I need
Daddy's
to hear
doing,
Jones's
but
thoughts on
acting
the
like
college
he's
football
throwing
playoffs.
Listen, there's a lot going on right now, as you can tell.
There is a lot going on right now. You want me to have one more story for you?
Yeah, one more story, please.
Okay, I know. Finally, McDonald's is releasing a new mango and pineapple ice cream.
Ooh,
what? McDonald's latest tropical-inspired soft serve offerings brings a sunny, refreshing twist to familiar favorites. And the new McDonald's mango and pineapple line shows how simple change in flavor can revisit the treat. A mango and pineapple drink is coming out. You have multiple options. You can get a soft serve cone, and you can get a chocolate cone, along with indulgent creations like hot fudge sundae and a McFlurry with Oreo bits.
That looks
what?
good.
A mango pineapple hot fudge sundae combines the tropical soft serve with warm melty chocolate sauce, blending the fruity vibrations with a comforting richness. I don't know if I want mango, pineapple, and chocolate.
What do you think?
What about you,
pineapple,
Jones?
and chocolate? Would you have that? It is ice cream.
Can you show me the picture of it?
Yeah, sure. Hold on.
I don't know about citrus and chocolate.
Someone has to try it.
Jim is going to show the picture.
Okay.
All right, let me pull it up here, buddy. Whoops, wrong one. Here we go.
Jones is wait, don't touch the microphone, buddy. People can hear that. Oh, there's the picture.
Hold on. It's hard to see
Coming
it.
into focus.
Oh,
there it is a little bit, right?
Wait,
like a swirl.
Wow.
Yeah.
10,061 people are watching.
Well, that would be
10,000. That'd be awesome.
That's what it
10,061 people.
I'll tell you what. Here's my new agent.
There we go. Hey,
I can tell our bosses
iHeart.
tomorrow we have 10,000 people watching.
Hey, Jim.
10,061 people.
Can you give me... No. Can I work for Jon and Jim?
Yeah, you can be our producer.
Yes. Maybe,
Yes, you
maybe
can.
in the future. I'm going to turn
Maybe
your
in the
mic off.
future.
Maybe in the future you can work. Wait, hold on. I kind of have to because the show is coming to an end.
The show's
we'll
ending,
do this
buddy.
again tomorrow. What do you say, Jones? Do you want to start tomorrow?
Say bye.
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 All right. If you missed anything today, go to sportssd.com or the iHeartRadio app or iTunes or TuneIn Radio or Spotify. Great job by our crew. Beginning with Jones here in Park City.
Star of the show.
All right. For Brent in the studio, for Jim, for Kristen. I'm John. Keep it here. This is San Diego Sports 760. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.